So, coming into this, Vitality and Onimaru Vanguard do not have the points that they would have wanted. Both teams are outside of the top 4. Both teams are going to look at the other side and realize that they are going to need to snag some victories here. Another play all 4 in the League 3v3. Shout out to Arbase and Sieste for all the work behind the scenes. I probably haven't done that enough. And shout out to Daniela as well, who's been putting a lot of work too. Now, Hart, he said it one time, and I've repeated it 16 times since. I love it when people give me sound bites. Hart's like, I've just got to be the dog of the team. I'm just getting completely pummeled for my team. Hart is going to play the sacrificial lamb here. On front line, typically the front players are just incredibly aggressive with Vil Warring and stuff. And so he and Andy already fighting over some deer right now. And Andy's like, you are absolutely not going to push those in. So good luck. Behind Hart, we've got Leary. Leary usually playing archers. And then behind Leary, we've got Hera. Hera usually playing fast castle into knights. Could also be scouts. But Hera's kind of what I call the super pocket, because Frontline's got a weird positioning to it. Behind Andy, we've got Jordan. Jordan's playing as the Vietnamese. I would expect archers from Jordan. And then behind him, we've got Doubt playing as the Jurchens. Jurchens do not actually get knights. So you could play Lancers, but Lancers are not as tanky as knights against archers specifically. Jurchens is an interesting pick, but I feel like for Vanguard, that's what they're going to do today, right? They're going to try some slightly unorthodox things. I think Andy and Hart have picked civs that later on can contribute with monks. And right now, Hart really wants that villager kill and should be able to get the villager kill. He's misclicked a couple times there. So not ideal, actually, because he's going to lose the eagle now. But he did kill the villager, which I guess is nice. And Leary's here with the eagle to help out. But Andy's going to be extra motivated to block now and get some villager kills in revenge. And I think that will happen. Andy's pretty good with blocking, but Hart's pretty good at spam clicking as well. And they're clicking like maniacs right now. Hera on the way up. Okay, so Hera's going fast feudal. Hera will contribute with scouts instead of a fast castle. A nice blocking there from Andy. And Leary's here, but also Jordan's here. And so Jordan's scout being there means Leary needs to run away. This is all just the setup, right? So just the way Frontline tends to play. The pressure hasn't gotten to any of the pockets, though. It's like Andy hasn't been able to get to Leary. Hart hasn't been able to get to Jordan, so they should be relatively uninterrupted. Doubt is pushing on all of his hunts. And yeah, Doubt is going fast castle here. So this will come down to, can Vitality use the early pressure and use the early military? I don't think necessarily to get damage on Andy. I mean, you're not going to complain about that. I think more so to get some damage up against Jordan and Doubt. Yet later on in the game, the front players are going to end up mattering a little bit more. There could be, Doubt could be trying to go Iron Pagodas, guys. Just looking to see if he's got any stone income. No stone income. I think waiting for a castle is a little bit too much. All right, viewers, do me a favor. I want input from everyone, all right? YouTube chat as well. So, I'm gonna say a strat, and I want you to give me a ranking of this out of 10. And I say this with the detail of, I played a 3v3 tournament. We died to it on this map, okay? Like, it was really, really strong. And our team is pretty solid. Your back player, so Doubt position, Hera's position. You pick Malay. Why are people giving numbers now? I didn't even say the strategy. You're completely ruining the game. You pick Malay, you go fast castle, full elephant spam with the cheap elephants. My feeling is that it was like 10 out of 10 when we were up against it. Because it's just like, you get to Castle Age so fast. The only weakness is that maybe the elephants are a little bit slow, but it completely wrecks Feudal Age. Like, completely wrecks Feudal. It's not even close. I think the only reason the top pros are not going to do that is just because they want to play Malay in other ways in different maps. It's so strong. Elephants are slow. Bro, you just make the stables on the front, and they're just, like, steamrolling Leary before you know it. But okay, you don't have to agree with me. I was asking your opinion. 8 out of 10, 6 out of 7, 7.5 out of 10. -3 out of 10? Okay. It's not a -3. That's a little disrespectful. And Jordan needing to wall in his villagers. Hera's being here with the scouts is maybe not something they were expecting, but Jordan gets some very nice quick walls there. But they want to wall this area up. And Jordan had this villager here because he's building his archer ranges on the front, and he's already lost a villager. Lots of pressure. It's 2 feudal age players from Vitality. It's scouts and archers from Leary and Hera. You're expecting them to get some damage. To be honest, as bad as it has looked for Andy in terms of inefficiencies, it could be worse. And Jordan needs to protect himself here. And Jordan is going to drop a tower. Remember, he won't have any help from Doubt for about 2 minutes. Hera is already here. I really like the micro from Jordan there, though. He's done good work. Doubt is on stone, so Doubt is going to try and play Iron Pagodas. Risky. What I don't like about this strat is I just don't think you're going to have the food. You got a full wall of the map. Doubt's got idols underneath the TC. There's a hole here as well. Like, fast castle into a castle, you've got to have, like, a no doubt best unit in the game type thing. Fast castle into a castle is risky. And Jordan's going to have to play defense on Doubt. Doubt thought he was walled when he wasn't. I'm looking at Doubt's food income, guys, and he does not have the food. Jordan needs to maybe send him this sheep. And Hera's, like, got a crazy good economy behind this because he's Slavs and he's adding farms as well, right? Like, his food eco should be fine. Leary killing some villagers at Andy's base. Jordan being called over here. Andy's contributing nothing, of course. Leary's denied the market as well, and Vitality are just crushing them right now. But high risk and potentially high reward here for Doubt. 21 villagers and a dream, but mainly a dream right now. They have done a nice job to wall so the pressure can't be continuously coming in. Andy's trying to reach Castle Age. Hart has done this every single time now. Like, Hart picks a Monk Civ, he goes fast castle, and he's going to contribute with monks. Which I think is so smart against, like, any of the Knight editions you're going to see. But, guys, Doubt's just had a rough tournament for me. He just really has, like... And I think it could easily snowball on you and get worse because... You aren't winning games, and you just try riskier and riskier things, right? Like, he's in Castle Age, and he's okay, he's dropping some gates or whatever. Hera doesn't care about any of that. He doesn't have a castle yet. He doesn't have military yet. So, like, fast castle it to... Now, give this a ranking, all right? You gave my Malay a -3. Give this a ranking. You gotta have a castle immediately, right? I don't know. I guess he just doesn't have the stone. He doesn't have the stone. Jordan pushes forward. Now, the siege joining in could be a problem, so he will want to deny that. But if you deny that, you kill 2 vills from Hart, and then you trade away a couple archers, so Leary now can get the numbers advantage. And Hart can get the siege workshop anyways. So now Jordan is the only one with military for the team, and there's going to be siege against him with Leary's archers, which will soon be Castle Age archers because he's macroing well. And they're just completely changing the strat. Like, Doubt's just like, I can't get the castle, I gotta boom now. Which I guess... Yeah, if you can't get to the castle, you do need to boom. But it makes me worry for Andy, and it makes me worry for Jordan. They're gonna have a lot of work here. And it will be 3 players with army against them. And Jordan's archer ejecting onto the front line, so that'll be a wasted archer. Andy hoping to drop a church here to hold the line. But the issue for Andy, too, is, like, his gold isn't even a realistic option to take. So if he wants to go for lots of monks, that becomes a problem. But he will go for redemption first thing. He will hope to drop the church here. And Doubt is going for the castle, actually. So 2 TCs into the castle. Hera has 15 farms with Slavs. Economy's seen better days, to be honest. I'm not sure what's going on with the lumber camps. But he'll add that lumber camp once I look away, I'm sure. And Jordan's archer range will just simply go down. So that's 1 less range for him to produce archers when we've got Leary full producing archers behind here with the Mayans. Also with a very, very clean economy to do anything that he might need. Even stonewalling for the team. Look at that. Those are the types of things Vitality misses, right? Like, I'm liking that they're adding that in. That's the type of thing that people are doing against them. The stone walls. Especially when you have the army lead. You just need to double fortify up your base. Classic Andy. He's got one military unit. And it's a monk. He wanted the conversion on the mangonel. They'll know that's redemption. And they're just slowly pushing the front here, Vitality. This is Vitality's home map. And someone will need to double check for me, but I don't think I've ever seen them lose this map. In the qualifier, they were undefeated on it. I think they won in their series against Tag on this map, but I don't have all the games memorized here. Nice hold from Andy. But the thing is, like, you get Iron Pagodas now, but the Monk Fast Castle means that, like, the Cav doesn't actually contribute that much. It's actually better to have Light Cav in theory. Does Light Cav have that bonus against the Monks, right? No stonewalling on this side for Team Onimaru Vanguard. And Leary's about to reach Castle Age. Hart can't follow them that easily because his units are slow, but he might just want to stay here. And then these two, Hera and Leary, can work together and go this direction. Yeah, and Jordan's going to see this. And Jordan doesn't have the upgrades yet. And I think it's inevitable these units are going to be through. Doubt we'll have to pull the units back. Art's still holding the front line on front line here. Someone says, T90, I rate you a solid 9. You rate me? Damn, I'll take that. That's even better than the strategy. I was just worried about the strat. Thanks, I guess. 9 out of 100 or 9 out of 10? Hold on, you didn't say... Ooh, shoot. You didn't clarify that. A 9 out of what? Someone gives me a 90 out of 10. Oh, thank you. First time watching live, too. Sick. Range is down for Jordan. See, that's such a problem, right? He needs to compete with the archer numbers, but he's losing his archer ranges. Good patience from Hera and Leary to just turn around here. Maybe not so much patience here against the monks from Hart. Could have been worse, though. The Mangonel didn't get any shots off on him. And if the conversion happens here from Andy, he'll be happy. In and out of the church. But the eco count is growing for Vitality. They don't even need to push, right? Hera's 3 town centers with the fastest farms in the game. So, I mean, yeah, he's fine. He's barely been needed for military. He's only had 4 light caps, so it's just full boom. You need to push back here if you're Onimaru Vanguard. I've yet to see Doubt contribute in any meaningful way with the Iron Pagodas. And it's just because he can't if there's monks here. Oh, God. Mangonel gets converted. Leary had to dance away from that. Dude, that was risky. That's what they were hoping for, was a big moment like that, where the conversions would change the game. But Leary didn't lose too much there in the end, luckily. So, Mangonel's crossbows. Probably the combination you need to stay with if you're Andy and Jordan. There's no real reason to deviate here. I think at a certain point, though, Harris should be adding more military. Like, he's got a lot of economy right now, and Leary, he does eat a shot, but with the monks there to heal up, he doesn't actually lose anything. Hera with the 4 TC. Like, from here, Hera could go double and triple stable pretty soon. But you might also just want to go imp. Go imp and then add the army. Kind of crazy. Hera can just get away with having 1 light cap because Hart and Leary are in such good positions here. So good. Eco for Doubt is okay, but I question the approach. He's tried to bump up the military numbers. But this is where, like, in theory, and Vitality's recognizing this, but you're vulnerable right now if you're Vitality because Hera has not been producing army. So this is where you could throw the game if you're not careful. Hart didn't have time to drop a tower there, which he would have really liked on his gold. One Mangonel gets converted. Mangonel lands an amazing shot. Oh my God. That was a ridiculous shot on the crossbows. Completely against the run of play. And finally, Vanguard gets the shot. That was insane. That was insane. It almost felt like the old school thing where if your Mangonel like dies after it fires the shot, it has greater splash damage. Clip that, ship it, and maybe Vanguard can do it. Harris needs military here. This whole time, they're like, fine, fine, fine. Hera could be greedy back there, but like finally they get punished. Hera's dropping the stables. Now you expect Hera to come back with a lot of military, but what position is Hart and Leary going to be in? Now that's a team decision, right? Like you're letting Hera greed out to Imp. But like I really like the idea of Light Cav. He just didn't have any of them there. And now panic time for Hart and Leary. And the Iron Pagodas can get some value and run in because Hart lost all of his monks. Oh man, this gets pretty crazy from here. Jordan can now have an easier game, maybe invest into some eco. I personally like the 1 TC army approach. Andy's got more monks coming forward constantly. Also, Hera's making Light Cav, and Iron Pagoda will beat Light Cav. So it's actually like Light Cav only made sense if Hera's teammates were alive. Light Cav doesn't even make any sense now. Potentially even an Imp Light Cav doesn't make sense. This still dies to a Castle Age Iron Pagoda. But also Hera's stuck because if you end up adding anything but Light Cav, then it's just going to get converted by Andy. Here comes Andy with a castle. Oh my goodness, what a turnaround. Andy says, I see your base and I'm going to take it too. Starts converting all the buildings. Hera getting Imp armor now. And he wants those monks. That would be a good call, actually. You just get to the monks, you clear out the monks, and then you can make knights later. Leary micring against Jordan here. Iron Pagodas from Doubt go to support Andy so his monks don't all get sniped. He brings some Iron Pagodas back over to support against Leary. Castle from Andy is going to go up. Hera's still running circles around his teammate's base, and Hart is not liking life right now. But Hera still has a ridiculous economy. Jordan's on the way to Imp. You know, Jordan being Imp faster than Leary could be a game changer, but Jordan doesn't have much military to work with. So he'll need that to improve. Hart has to leave. Hart's just like, all right, guys, I'll catch you later. Please win the game for me, please. I'm just going to drop TCs and hope that I'm, like, not completely dead in the later stages of the game. Rams coming in from Andy. Crazy turnarounds. That shot changed the game. And starting to see signals from Leary. I think he's asking Hart to outpost the sides to get vision there. Yeah. You need to have vision on the sides. Maybe telling Hera he should go to the left side. Thing is, I think they see Hera going this way. And you got Jordan walling up. And there's an outpost there as well. Hera dropping a castle. I was just going to say, like, Hera should be able to treb this castle down. Hera's castle is going to go up. Hera's economy is still insane. And if he gets any raids whatsoever into the back, this could be a real nightmare. Those 12 Hussars are going to do a lot of work for Hera. And that castle from Hera is huge. So, greedy, maybe. But with a castle here now, you're in a good spot. And Doubt's going to try and clear this army. He's running underneath a castle. The crossbows could go into the castle, right? It's not easy for Doubt. They might be dealing with some of the raids in the back, though. The Hussars from Hera have made it into Jordan's base. They're making it into Doubt's base. Doubt's Iron Pagodas are going to run into Hera's base now, which is actually a good play. Leary trying to trap them. Can he trap them with Hera's army there? He will trap them there. Doubt on the way to the Imperial Age as well. What a great game. What a great game. But I just feel like the Hussars are really going to start to get some value now. Unless Jordan can have a really big army number. But Jordan wants to play skirms? Jordan wants to play skirms when there's Hussars? I don't love that decision. I think you got to stay on archers. You might be having gold problems we're not realizing. I think Vitality have stabilized, guys. They've stabilized. Like, Leary never took critical damage. Hera never took critical damage. Hart, he's the one who took the damage on the front, but that's acceptable. Hera will mask the trebuchets now, which means Andy's castle is likely going to disappear. And, I mean, Hera's even adding trade at this point, feeling like they can get away with that. Still feels like the military count's low for Hera, but he's got really good position for the military, right? So, also, I like what Hart's done with the walls on the sides, so this area isn't exposed in raids from Doubt. Or Jordan, who really has just not had a big economy this game. 46 villagers for Jordan. I mean, there was a lot of pressure early Castle Age. Hera did just hit him with Hussars as well. And the only way they were going to come back in this game was a big, big, big army play, which is probably what the focus was. As long as Hera has Trebs here, the Hussars aren't actually needed. If you think about it. Like, the Trebs are the #1 contribution now from Hera. And then Leary can just kill everything else with the Arbalest. Leary's got 52 Arbalest. So, if you can get away with a big eco, not be punished, you're going to go for that option. Hart drops a castle here. Leary's getting his imp upgrades now. Amazing recovery from Leary after losing his crossbowman there. What made that shot against Leary so amazing is that it was like, not only was it a satisfying boom, which you rarely see at high level AoE, but it was a satisfying splat against the player you never see it happen against. Right? Is against Leary. I like the call from Hera here. Again, his military isn't really needed now that it's full Arbalest from Leary with these numbers. So I think he's going to sling Hart into this game. He's getting coinage. He'll probably get banking. And then you just give Hart all your resources. I mean, Hart will have more villagers than Jordan and will be in the Imperial Age. And the few Hussars that Hera does have, he will toss in here against the Skirms. The few monks that Hart does have, he'll have here for any Iron Pagodas from Doubt. Doubt does have elite Iron Pagoda. He's got 27 of them. He got through. He got through. I'm not sure how he got through. He gets into the back. Another chance here for Onimaru, maybe. And, oh my goodness, Hera. Hera's got so many builds. Hera's just going to drop castles here. I mean, again, like, technically Hera should have more military. He's dropping the castles to defend. He will take some eco losses. That, I guess, will give him more military pop space. If Hera went 140 eco and had army right here, it's game over right now. They're going to lose the Vills to the... He's going to lose Vills to the Iron Pagoda. Lots of idle time as well. So his eco won't actually feel strong because he's... So many of his villagers are not working. And it's Imperial Skirm from Jordan, so... There's chances here. Gates are needed because there's a gap here. Nice gate. Still gaps on this direction, but Andy seems to notice it. Hera wondering why the pathing is all screwy here. You don't want the Hussars getting into the back yet again here, Andy. Nice gate. There's still a gap, though. That's going to be a nice fight there from Hera. Should deny the castle. Should kill the Hussars. No army from Hera here. Like, where is Hera's military? Again, I was finding, like, every reason I could to explain why he didn't have military. But now I'm sitting here again like, bro, you got to have some military. He's going to go Boyar now. I think Andy will eventually complete this castle. Doubt's defending it. I mean, Boyar's an amazing unit. Takes a little bit of time to get the switch. He's got the units in queue now. They're not elite yet, but he should have the resources eventually for elite. How do Iron Pagodas do against elite Boyars? Does anyone know? I haven't seen it too frequently. I feel like... I think it should be close, right? Because the Iron Pagodas block the first hit. But then from there, the Boyars have so much melee armor. I think the Boyars are the superior unit. And you have 70 Arbs from Leary. And we have 0 Arbalest from Jordan. So, like, Jordan's Skirms do 1 damage a hit against the Boyars. I think the army should be superior for vitality. And that's before we factor in Hart being in the game. At Jordan going Skirm, it's just not a very typical team game thing. Because if you go for a trash unit in team games, there's a gold unit on the other side that can smash it, right? That's why you don't see pikemen a lot. Because there's always archers, too. It's more of a 1v1 move. But I guess he is Vietnamese. Let's see. Hera has the upgrades now. He's got more military than he has, and he'll take the fight. Again, half the army, in theory, for Vanguard does not contribute very nicely here because it's Skirms. Inspecting. Boyars are crushing. Boyars crushed the Iron Pagoda. That was my read anyways. It could have been because the Arbalests were in there. Jordan did focus fire down a lot of the Arbs. Population's still pretty close, apparently. And let's not forget that freaking Andy's got a pretty good population, and maybe he could make military. And actually, maybe he could end up making, maybe he ends up making more composite bowmen because they ignore armor. It kind of held the line here. I mean, they didn't lose a ton of grounds. And Hera's eco count will climb again because he's adding trade. He'll reach a stage where he'll delete eco eventually, but it's still an overboom situation from Hera, which has been the theme. And Jordan's still making the Imperial Age skirms. Teams are walled along the sides. This could be a very, very, very long game. Remember, we haven't seen Hart make any contribution for the team beyond walls. There's a question of what you make. Obviously, monks with Aztecs. You could go Siege Onager. I think that's your long-term play is like monks, Siege Onager. He's going to make pikes with the +8 attack, but he needs time to get to the +8 attack. Hera's super locked down and defended on this side. He's super locked down and defended on this side. Like, they've got fortifications up, both teams. We might be here a while. Unless someone breaks the front right now, we might be here a long while. Doubt doesn't have the numbers. And I think Doubt's eco is struggling. I'm not seeing the Boyars here. Or, sorry, the Iron Pagodas. I am seeing Boyars here. And Doubt just doesn't have a big unit queue right now. And now there's going to be some siege from Leary, too, so they can start to break the fortifications. Yep, maybe I spoke too soon. This is kind of how I thought it was going to go before. Was that the Boyars and the Arbs were just going to completely crush. Yeah, Hart's here now. Castle from Hart's going to go forward. They just need a couple more trebuchets from the team, and they'll take down these fortifications. I didn't realize Andy was still in Castle Age, too. Yeah, Andy can't contribute. It's all Jordan, and it's all Doubt. And Doubt's units have just melted too quickly. Yeah, I think this might be Vitality's game, finally. I just looked at the setup, like the fortifications. It felt like if it stalls out, we start to compare the uber late games and the trade situations. But really, just the opening was just so smooth from Vitality. They were so far ahead. It's kind of the goal, I guess, to get so far ahead where you can make a mistake or two and it doesn't really matter. Like, and any of the perceived mistakes were always good long-term things like economy and trade, right? And defensive castles. Like, that's never really going to be bad. That's only bad if your team does get crushed. Doubt's now having the population issues that Hera was having. Because you just need such big economies for the Cav. Imp is back here for Andy, so he will make it to Imp. But, like, Imp into what, bro? Imp into what? Just click the pikeman upgrade. He's going to try and play Halb, I guess. I guess that's what Hart's doing on the other side, is Hart's playing infantry. Imp into GG. Yeah, my favorite strat. Classic. I mean, Andy's dropping churches to just delay his death because the churches have a lot of fortification bonuses. Which is like, okay, respectable. Hart actually queued up Faith for a second. He's going to get Heresy instead because he's worried about Andy's monks still. I don't think you can really control monks in this environment. Guys, you know what has really bothered me in some of these games? It's just the lack of trebs when they have a winning army. From some really good teams. Like, they're just so slow to trebs. Like, we have 2 from Hart, 2 from Leary. Imagine if they just doubled those numbers. Like, they've had the better army for, like, 10 minutes here, man. We're going to have elephants from Jordan. Ooh, okay. I mean, it's Vietnamese elephants. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a castle, so he can't get shot rest for the extra HP. And oh, Jordan! Well, he's just freeing up pop space, boys. You can't make a lot of elephants if you don't have the population space for elephants. Calculated from Jordan, clearly. I'm guessing he was maybe a little bit distracted, but that was bad. And that was even worse than what happened to Leary earlier. He doesn't have the economy for it. He spent a lot of time rebounding. Hera's into the back. Hera's going to share resources with Hart, so Hart can get all the techs that he needs. Exactly what you should be doing here. Huge numbers of Boyars now from Hera. Always has been huge army count for Leary here. And 50 seconds away from Siege Onager for Hart. Again, like, the Trebs are slowly doing the job. It's actually going to be Rams as well from Leary. They just got to break the front line here. But I think the raids have also been enough. Like, everyone's been hit by these Boyar raids. Faith as well from Hart. That just tells you how rich he is, right? Because you already have Heresy, which is 1,000 golds. That's pretty much all you need, because your unit just dies, so it can't turn around and, like, splat your ally. You get Faith as well, just so you can resist the conversion. That's just because you don't know what else to do with your res, right? You're in such a good spot. And I think Hera could have also opted for Siege Onager, but if you have Hart doing it, that should be fine. And the Chadras tech isn't even that expensive. It makes me really sad to see the elephants at 320 HP. T90 Unk would not approve. But I think Jordan just has to fight this back now because they're under such pressure. It still is a tanky unit without that upgrade. He doesn't have a castle to get the upgrade in the first place, and it's just not quite enough there against the Boyars, the Pikes, the Siege Onagers, and Hera into the back yet again. I think, like, you know, I've said this a lot about Onimaru Vanguard. Their openings are the questionable thing for me, right? Like, the mid game, it was a nice job coming back, getting to the late game after they were behind. I mean, respectable game, really fun match. But from their perspective, I feel like the theme always is the questioning on the start of the game for Onimaru Vanguard. Vitality, it might actually be the opposite. Like, their openings are always super smooth, but how they adapt throughout the late game has been the weakness for their team. So it's an interesting one as we go into the next 3 games. But Vitality benefited from their opening hugely because they had so much activity and so much army on the field. And they take the first win. So, Vitality desperate for wins. They go to frontline where they just seem to be very, very comfortable here. The KD for the whole team except for Hart was awesome. Even Leary had a good KD after he got half his army splatted in Castle Age. Obviously, Hera was greed mode and shared some of that greed with his allies. Sent quite a few resources over to Hart. But, like, for me, the big one here is just Doubt. Doubt wanted to go fast castle into a castle. Never really clicked for me to do that here, but maybe just worked better in practice or something, right? Yeah, so, like, we question some things, right, because Vanguard loses. But the reality is that's Vitality's best home map. And so this now is one of the best home maps. There's 2 home maps for Onimaru. Now it's their turn. On this map, you've got the one area where you can have the attack on land. And that is random. So they're going to have to scout to determine that it is on Andy's side. So Andy is against Hart yet again here on Crescent. Behind Andy, you've got Doubts. Doubts playing as the Chinese. And then we've got the Dravidians for Jordan. And Jordan, probably just a primary water player because there's no way for him to access the others on land. So this is one of those rare maps where, while it is team positions, you pick your color to determine your position. You don't know who's actually going to be the true flank until you're into the game. It could have been either one. And I think they would have maybe wanted to have Leary as the flank, but Hart has played it pretty consistently as well, and Leary's Vikings. Leary will probably play full water. Hera is Italians. I've noticed Vitality really prioritize the water early. Most teams have been going for knights from the pocket, but like where you dock, where you prioritize the fishing ships is important to pay attention to. So, yo, Routine Tom, thanks for the resub. Welcome. Zara says T90. From all the testing I did with Iron Pagoda, it's one of the strongest calves in Castle Age, but falls off an imp. Yeah, makes sense. The thing about the Iron Pagoda in the previous game, though, was that Hart had monks. So give Hart a lot of credit, because Hart had siege and monks, which let them hold from that push. So while we can question the Iron Pagodas, it's like Hart goes fast castle on the front like that after some laming really, really well. my mods calling some of my viewers impatient raisins right now, as the gambling addicts are asking for channel points. I've never heard someone call a Twitch chatter a raisin. I kind of like that, you know? Because there can be some really good and some really bad raisins. I haven't had raisins in a while, but damn. Anyways, have fun with your channel points. I think the mods are going to help you out. Sorry my mods insulted you. I'll talk to them later. That's horrible. How dare they? Yeah, my feeling, guys, is that with really good teams, you cannot finish games fast on this map. You can get leads, but the games don't end. So I think they're drafting around crazy good naval units and like traction trebs and towers and things, right? So I think we have Wu. Don't Chinese also get Luchuans? So we've got Wu and Chinese that get Luchuans on Onimaru's team. You've got Shu on this team that also gets Luchuans. And I've talked about how I really like having traction trebs available on the like the front flanks, and that's what they have here, Shu versus Wu. So you got to get there. There's a lot of gameplay that has to happen before, but yeah. Also, really embarrassing timing. But I got to step away here for a minute. I'll be right back. What we're gonna focus on is we're gonna focus on Hera's scout, because Hera will never lose his scout. All right. So Hera's going to show us around. I'll be right back. Thank you for the primes. I'll be right back. It's going to be a long game, so quick break. Okay. I expected Hera to stay with his teammate, guys. What's going on? I expected him to be here with his teammate. I should have followed Heart Scout. I guess Hera's still in Dark Age, so he would maybe lose his scout if he did that. Heart trying to pressure here with the Man-at-Arms against Andy. And Andy knew it was coming. Andy honestly weakened a lot of these Man-at-Arms, though, and Hart didn't get the value that he wanted. Might have missed something. Doesn't look like the Man-at-Arms got many kills. And the Vils, the militia, mostly deal with this army for Andy. He went for some big walls, and he's got Man-at-Arms over at Hart's base, too. Dang. So lots of multitasking between these two. And these two have the hard work again of, like, being the ones that get consistently pressured. Starting scouts from Leary and Hera, now that at least one of them's in the feudal age, will come in and try and pressure. But, oh, we also have scout support from Doubt, so Doubt is out of the stable to chip in. And it'll essentially be two people on lands working against Heart. So Heart's going to be playing 1v2. Hera is just adding eco and mainly the water, and he's fish boomed on the backside. He's fish boomed the front side as well. Now, another opinion I have is that on any map that incorporates fish with the current water balance is you just have to add fish all the time. Fish. They've removed a lot of the abilities to punish it, in my opinion, and so Hera's doing the right thing here. If Jordan shows up with some Navy, then it can become a problem, but I think Hera could communicate to this. He can communicate this to his ally and just say, hey, like, I need some ships over here. Leary's over here fighting on water. The other thing Hera can do is he can just shift into water himself. You have the ability to just garrison your dock. You fire arrows instantly. And so here is Hera playing no military, and he hasn't actually lost anything yet because of it. And he just rotates the fishing ships in and out. Jordan's probably going to lose this fire, and Hera hops out with one hawk, and you're not punished. So it's really, really strong to just add fishing ships everywhere. And it's also kind of hard to do that if you also have the land army right now. So Doubt can't do that nearly to the same level. Nice defense there from Hera. Here, Leary's kind of stuck at the choke point, which does make it hard to support Hera in the middle, but I guess Hera will need to make his own navy there. Archers and scouts moving around this way. Now, where this could get a little dangerous is if the archers and scouts, they bypass Hart and they move directly over to Hera, right? Because Hera's already thinking about a little bit of navy and has to because Jordan's going there. But Jordan can't go there because you got Leary here all the time too. So it's just really tricky to know what direction to go. Good micro from Jordan there. That was really nice runner micro with the fires. Jordan really likes his fires, I've noticed, in these water maps. Leary always likes the ranged units, so he likes the galleys. Fires are supposed to be better than the galleys, but when you have Leary controlling the galleys and you just have a couple Hawks in front, I typically like Leary's position, and yeah, Leary's doing well there. Meanwhile, there is some Navy on the backside from Andy and also from Hart. And the scouts and the archers, I don't know where they've gone. The scouts are actually over here. So they've looped around Hera's base. Hera's on double stable, by the way. So in Castle Age, he can make knights. And most of the Vitality players are walled. Yeah. So smart understanding that the land pressure could come their way. And luckily, they know how to wall their base, right? Oh, this is so good for Doubt. That's so good. One hole for Leary. And now the scouts can run in with good upgrades. And Leary's got a house wall everything, man. Even just having to place the house walls is so bad for his eco and so bad for his military focus. Hera's Hawks will come in and help against Jordan, though. Hera's in the Castle Age. Hera can make knights. And Vitality's economy, not as strong as it once was. Doubt's been adding fishing ships behind all this, right? Jordan runs in randomly, which is kind of funny. But I think if they have the Castle Age players playing water, Jordan might have some problems here. Leary's already taken down a dock. Hera's going to have the Hawks over here. So it's really tough for Jordan, and it's impossible for Doubt to fish. Right? Doubt can't fish the front because Hera's going to be here. So pretty cool from Hera. He's going to be doing two different things. He'll be playing water, and he'll be playing knights. I think the initial knights will not go where he wanted them to go. He's going to have to go help Leary. That's why this knight is here. But the Hawks are doing a great job. And Leary can now go this way and then kill all of Doubt's fish. Like, there is a very good chance that Doubt will have 0 fishing ships in like 5 minutes. He's going to lose everything. The Hera will drop the town centers to boom. Light cav upgrades in. And Hart has a hole now. Frustrating, but it might not be the end of the world. Hart will lose a lot of villagers here. Yikes, he loses almost the whole wood line, but Hera was there to help. It will clear it. On the water, Hart needs to be careful. Andy actually built a forward dock there. Doubt's fishing ship, still an issue. And it's only going to get worse for him. He's losing fish here. He will save them in the last second. But they're still losing fish over here. And now Leary is just advancing this way. And so Doubt won't be able to fish there either. Like, Doubt's eco is going to be so far behind Hera's, it's not even funny. And archers from Hart killed a couple villagers here from Andy, who does have some archers of his own. And will have Navy as well. Andy and Hart have been pretty close this game. AW2's the bomb says, is it me or do they make Hart the whipping boy? Well, that's one way to say it. I think it's part of the strategy. And Hart doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion. Hart is almost always the one who's going through all the crazy pressure. So Leary and Hera can have as free a game as possible. And that's a really difficult role to play. Because if you get broken, all that pressure bleeds into your allies. And it ruins the whole strategy, right? So you need a sacrificial lamb for the team. Hart also gets the weakest civs every time. And all the best civs and positions go to the other two teammates. So I give Hart a lot of respect. Every good team has that player. And like you see LY do that with Lix a lot. Lix gets those civs. Yo and Vivi get some of the better civs. Just a reminder, even though I think Hera's position is a bit better than Doubt's, as Doubt's still struggling to fish and Andy might struggle to fish, that the games rarely end quickly on this map. So on some level, it does maybe come back to what you draft. It's really hard to end games. I saw Vitality once. They had Vikings. They had such a big lead. I think it was Hera with Vikings. But then it just hit the point of the game where they couldn't win it by just getting a faster imp. And then Vikings looked kind of rough because you can't just play full water and... Oh, God, Jordan! Was that intentional that he ran in there, or was it just a lack of a patrol? He's back on water a little. Knights running around from Hera. Doubt here in support of Andy. Not bad. Also, there's a random villa up here from freaking Andy. Walling in the gold, which I think is a really good move. Leary's Navy came all the way to Andy. So bye-bye Andy's fishing eco. And Doubt was able to save some of his fishing eco, but it hasn't been easy. I think Hart can come in from this side and kill the rest of Andy's fishing eco. I like this from Jordan, though. Like, the occasional fire ships pressuring Hera's fishing economy, even though Hera has Navy of his own, Hera might make a mistake every now and then because he is focused on a lot. Harsh Yoshi says, is that Hart's role, or do opponents target him, considering they're not be able to do damage to Hero? No, it's definitely the role. It's definitely the role. It's not that. Like, the goal, like, if you watch how Tag played, like, you do everything you can to get some pressure on Leary and Hera, but typically they formulate the strategy so Leary and Hera don't get positioned, right? Like, the previous game was an obvious example, because you have frontline, so they just put Hart on the front and let him deal with the chaos, so. All right, Hera loses some fish. Nice job, Jordan. I think that's huge, because you don't want Hera to get to imp faster and just steamroll. I still think that's a very good reality. A very good possibility, rather. Andy's kind of in the punching bag. He has been supported by Doubt. Doubt's got knights around. Jordan, he's way behind Leary, though. And Leary's Vikings, so in some ways that's to be expected, but Leary's got a ridiculous setup right now. He just completely won water. And he got to Doubt with it. He got down here to Andy with it, too. And then Hera's dealing with the water in the middle. And Hart's playing crossbows. And Hart is at the very least even with Andy, I would say, which is acceptable. I think Villager that was back here got converted, by the way. I don't think she's still around. I think... It depends how you view the matchup, but Vitality has two choices here, because they're going to make it to the Imperial Age faster. You're always going to upgrade your ships. You're always going to add a couple cannon galleons. But do you do something more than that and try and transport and build barracks and stables over here to end the game on land? Or, I think the other alternative is you just have faith in your civs in the late game and you trade side to side and you just, like, camp with towers and ships and whatnot. Depends how they view the matchup. Because I think Chinese and Wu and Dravidians are just better overall with water and towers. So there is a little bit of urgency to end the game quickly, but amazing job from Hera, Leary, Hart. And they're just kind of exploding in population right now. Jordan especially struggling, and it's only going to get worse. Because this whole game where he tries to send in a random fire or a random Hulk to disrupt Hera's fish, that's not going to matter anymore. Hera doesn't need his fishing eco much longer. He already has 100 so vills. I think this needs to be communicated. Doubt was able to slip through the cracks. Gets into Hera's base. Hera will see it. And he says, welcome! Welcome to my base, sir! Welcome to my base! I mean, he's making more knights here, so he just needs to give himself a second, then he can deal with that. Knights from Doubt in the back, going down to some of Hart's crossbows that Hart was able to sneak in. Again, really nice play from Hart. He's actually ramming down the walls already. And yeah, Hera just has to wait until he has enough knights to go in there and kill Doubt's army, so Doubt doesn't do much with the raid. And we got a transport from Leary. Yeah, I think this is a good adaptation. Because Vikings have crap towers... Viking Navy's really good, but it might not be as good as people think it is compared to some civilizations with shipwright and loose wands. And oh god, Jordan is counter-castling? Well, Leary's is going up. Jordan's will actually go up as well. And he's dropping a siege workshop. He might try some elephant rams, and he might try and petard this down because they're right next to each other here. T90 Vikings have full upgrades on their towers, don't they? Nope. They do not. I think they get guard tower, and they probably miss a couple other techs, but I don't think they get keep. I don't know if they get all the fortification bonuses either. I think their towers are just, like I said, I just don't think they're nearly as good as some of the other Civs towers. This is kind of nice for Jordan, because you might be able to petard this down before too many traps come out. But actually going from the bottom to the top when ungarrisoning petards is sometimes bugged. Let's see where the petard hops out. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, it's not hitting. That's twice in a row now. It doesn't go from the north. It comes out from, like, the side. I've had some conversations about this and seen some players complain about this. In this exact direction, the petard doesn't hop out the way you want. So his first 2 petards actually just died without hitting the castle. Look, see, it comes out the left side. Oh, God, that's so bad for Jordan. So, yeah, instinctively, he's gone for the petards there, which would work in a different castle orientation, but the pathing is weird, which means the castle might just fully stay up. Leary's cramming archery ranges onto the enemy island here to use Arbalest as well. And Leary, with 2 trebs, he should be able to take this castle down before he loses his own. Could be wrong on that. Hera's got Cavalier now. Doubt's about to be an imp, hoping for that as well. Andy's got a hold. Andy 3 minutes away from imp. Hart will be an imp in 30 seconds. And Hart already dropping the siege workshops. He's already dropping the gates and the walls here, so the enemies can't pass. Vitality are just so far ahead right now. And they just have been. They just have been. Like, I think where this game needed to change for Vanguard is they needed the double land pressure to do more, right? Like, the scouts and archers didn't accomplish a ton. And so as Doubt makes military, Hera just added fishing ships and went to Castle Age. And that's kind of been the difference here. The Hera did do a good job to shift into military and Castle Age, but I think double feudal age military on this map is not good. If one player don't go for it, but I think you just need to spam fish. As unexciting as that sounds for people who really want to make the military. Ender says Jordan's playing so bad in both games. I don't know if Jordan's played bad. The issue here, right, is that, like, Jordan, he's up against Leary, who's, you know, one of the players you want in the 1v1 position, so that's a lot of pressure. But then you also he had a job of trying to disrupt Hera, and so I think he got split focus because he had to disrupt 2 people. Obviously, now it's not going to look good, but I think it comes back to Jordan was supposed to basically 1v2 on water, and it was a very tough task. Hey, we got dragons. Doesn't look... Well, if it kind of looks like a dragon on the end there. We got dragon boats from Doubt, so Doubt will try and come back onto the water now. But Jordan is cooked. Like, he is thoroughly cooked. He is... If he were a steak, he would be well done right now on land. Which, I don't know how many of you guys eat steak, but well done is that's not what you want with your steak, right? Don't be that guy that gets your steak well done, all right? That's just ridiculous. Buildings are going to go down. Jordan will try with bomber cannons, which Vikings do not get themselves. Doubt will be pushed onto land. This is... This is the least efficient wood economy. It's a job fair, guys. They overhired. They overhired at Jordan's Woodline. Oh my god. I mean, Hera's here with Hart. They're pushing with traction traps against Andy. They're literally ahead everywhere. They're ahead on water. They're ahead on land. They're ahead with eco. Usually it's either or, right? Vitality just a step up. Just simply a step up. And in hindsight, while I do like the civilizations that Onimaru picked, maybe Crescent isn't the best of maps because it allows Hera to be super greedy, which he's shown he really has a tendency to do. Hard to say. It's always hard to say, like, how much of it is just the other team being really, 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 really good, right? And so they exploit mistakes, right? Or a completely normal play could be seen as a mistake. A play that worked 10 times in practice just looks like a mistake because the other team can slightly out-execute. Well played from Vitality. This is the Vitality we expected. Dominant, well-rounded. This is the Vitality we didn't see yet in this tournament, in the main event. But this could turn around fast. Like, if Vitality loses the next 2 games, they'll consider this a disappointment. They need at least 3 wins in this playoff 4 to be within reach of that top 4, which is going to be their goal. Jordan is just like... Jordan's like, I can offer you guys positive words of inspiration. Like, Jordan's playing skirms again. But it still doesn't stop the base from getting destroyed by the trebuchets. Jordan's in a rough spot. Andy's in a rough spot. There's not much to really be done at this point. Doubt is going to make the Lushwans. So he's got the Lushwans over here. Hera will try and dive close to them. Might not be able to kill these. But I don't know how much it matters. Like, you have the Lushwans, and then Leary will just take your base. So... The Lushwans are gonna do what? I was looking for something there because this game became really boring because Vitality was 200 population ahead. Well played to Vitality. Yeah, if I were to just like summarize the build decisions, right? You have Jordan and Leary, they both go water. You have Hart and Andy, they basically mirrored each other. And it was very similar. We had land approach. We had water mix. And then Hera said, I know it's a war game, but I'm going to spam 15 more fishing ships. And Dowd said, I'm going to make army. And so that army needs to get payoff, which, you know, he tried to do, wasn't able to do, which nice hold from Hart, because Hart had to hold 1v2, right? And then Jordan was like being told by Dowd, oh, Hera's being greedy. We got to punish him. So he goes to go punish Hera. And then Leary's like, haha, that's funny. You don't have all your ships here? You're dead now, right? So, like, in the end, and this is just my overall feeling on the water meta these days, is it always circles back to, I think you just got to make the fish. You just got to make the fish, and you just don't make the army, both on, like, maybe on water or on land. And I think Hera did a really good job there. And then Hera he did make the big assessment from Hera was he's got to make the knights when he's in Castle Age and not wait. Which maybe in the previous game he might have waited. That was very good. The second he got to Castle Age, he had the knights out, and he was able to support. But I like the fact he went knights with Italians, because some people might be like, bro, Italians don't get Paladin. I don't want to go knights. Doesn't matter. They get fully upgraded Cavalier. They have really good water bonuses. So I think that's really good. That could have been an option there. All right. Welcome in, guys. Vanguard needs some wins. Vanguard need 2 wins, I'd say minimum. And, well, we'll see how it goes. Jordan, they paused here. He says, I have no wood on the screen. Hart says normal. Same for me, apparently. And so they're just going to play on. Jordan doesn't feel like his wood situation is good. Now, we've seen players run to the front and try and get some elephants here. Let me look. I mean, Hart's got more wood around, right? Okay. So Hart's got more wood around 100%. But it's not like the wood is like super plentiful. But it seems like it's maybe a little bit more normal here. The problem is, by the way, so like the players, this is covered as Rex. And they have to do private Rex so there's no spoilers. But that means admins can't look at the map. And admins can't play a role here. So it's just purely like player discussion, right? I mean, Jordan, it feels like he probably wanted a wood line like here. But he's got the wood line back here. This wood line's pretty far. It does feel like it's a little bit further. Certainly unfortunate. Jordan's Bohemians. Down here, we've got Doubt playing as the Way. In the purple, then, we've got Andy playing as the Japanese. Andy will almost always play full water and adapt from there. Super good in the late game with the towers. Might see Cav Archers from the Japanese. But I would expect Andy to play water. On the other side, again, you got a forward position. Who's playing? Hart. Hart will play the forward position for the team. He's dropping the barracks now with the Burmese to play man-at-arms. And then you've got Hera in the blue. Hera playing as the Lithuanians. And then in the teal, we've got Koreans for Leary. So, I mean, I haven't seen Vitality play this map too frequently with success. I remember the game against Tag where they got completely disrupted. But they got disrupted because you had early infantry pressure from Mihai. So maybe they're going to take a page out of Tag's book. Hart will try and do that here with the Burmese. Jordan has, in multiple instances, tried to go fast castle in this position. I think he tried fast castle. Like, oh, actually, he went scouts. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but when I think Bohemians, because I saw fast castle Magyars and fast castle with Bohemians, Jordan's going to want that food. So we might see him go to stone. Hera being Lithuanians, I mean, long-term is going to spam Latus like crazy. He'll try and play it like he did play the Slavs earlier. And Lewis in chat says, Hart is a huge liar. Bro, calm down. Calm down. You're being way too extreme right now. At the time, Hart didn't have any of his woodlines scouted, which is what they were referring to, right? Hart's woodlines is slightly closer, but when the game started, he couldn't see. He had no wood on screen, which is exactly what they were talking about. Chill out, bro. It's all good. Kumana, thanks for the 5 months. In Twitch chat says, another month, another missed sub. Frowny face. Can we get some frowny faces in the chat to acknowledge Kumana's missed sub? Kumana, give me a second, all right? I'm dealing with unruly chatters. I'm casting the game, trying to break it down. We've got some 3v3s. I'll get to you. Thank you for the 5 months. Frowny faces in the chat. Thank you again, Wafflecopter. If you didn't hear me say thank you, Killer Caesar. And here come the militia. And yeah, Jordan is... I mean, he's not feeling comfortable about his wood line. That's brutal. He's going to lose his houses pretty quickly to the man-at-arms because they're Burmese man-at-arms. Especially because the militia can get the hill. He's trying the fast castle, which is, again, risky. Weirdly enough, if he loses his lumber camp, that might actually be a long-time concern, right? I was thinking about this today because I'm playing in a lower division for this tournament. I really feel like this fast castle from the front can be punished through man-at-arms. I think a lot of people are going archers, but like man-at-arms, just you take down their houses. The huts also have 0 armor, so the huts just disappear. Like Jordan's pop spate's going to be horrible. It's just so risky, man. It's so risky. Hera's here with the scout, so he could harass and try and stop the fishing from being common. And I mean, good luck to Jordan trying to get a castle here. I just don't think it's great. I also don't think it's good if you don't have support player. So like Doubt isn't making any army to support. Doubt's just going Navy. And Andy's also going full Navy. So Jordan gets to be the punching bag. And Jordan is hoping. Okay, he kills the scout there from Hera, but he's housed right now. Like, bro, he's housed. Because he lost his houses. And part of the strat is you have to sell the stone. Oh, man. Archer goes down there from Hart, which is a little sloppy. Yeah, you're selling the stone to get the gold to go Castle Age. Look, he can't instantly build a market because he doesn't have the wood. What's the straggler tree situation like? 8 wood, 40 wood, 125 wood. I genuinely think Hart should snipe his lumber camp. Especially, maybe that's a little rude. Not that there's anything rude in competition. But like Jordan did complain about his wood line at the start of the game. They know it's here. You know you've probably done a lot of damage. Jordan's going to eventually get to the castle. So, but oh god, like Jordan's not building the market yet. Bohemians do have a cheaper blacksmith, but this is just so painful for Jordan. There is something to be said to like adapting to your situation. You can make an argument if you have a really bad map for a strat, you shouldn't try and go for the strat, but maps are relatively standardized to the point where you have certain expectations. I'll be honest, I don't really know if the woodlines being better saves this for Jordan. I think that the man-at-arms and the archers just from Hart have just been really strong. But resources are there for Jordan. So he'll make it to the next stage. He's got a little bit of food income. Hera has had scouts, actually, which I haven't seen. So Hera's scouts haven't killed a villager yet from Doubt. Didn't realize Hera shifted into the scouts there. Hera was also making some navy. And Leary's just been making navy, so it's Leary and Andy just playing water wars over here. Hera against zero army is always expected to get a couple villager kills, and he does get one. And he's gonna make life difficult for Doubt. There's some value in forcing some idle time. Doubt needs to get some spearmen, but the problem is the man-at-arms are here. So if the man-at-arms arrive, spearman defense isn't going to be so easy. Hera on water will continue to hold. He did lose a hawk or two. Doubt's got the multiple dock productions there, so I think Doubt should be in a better position. And then Leary's moving in towards Andy. Andy's actually moving through the middle now, which is an interesting decision, but he is being chased by Leary, so... Yeah, archers are here as well. Vitality just dishing out some punishment today, man. But there is this... It does feel like... There's just a lack of faith from Vanguard that they're as good as this team. And so they always try something risky, right? And so when the risky pay off, everyone applauds it. But then when you lose it, it just kind of, you look a little bit like an underdog. I can relate to that. When I play in tournaments against like a top 20, 30 talent, am I trying to play standard? Am I doing things that like are expected? No, absolutely not. And that exists even in this format. When you've got 9 top teams, you've got 3 to 4 players on both teams, you're looking at different categories of players and different styles, right? Leary's not going for any land units. He's just going for the water. Dowd is shifted on the stone and gold now. He's on the way to Castle Age. He lost his mill. They just forced some towers. That was pretty much it. The castle's up for Jordan. And so he'll have his woods. And the goal would be Hussite wagons. But of course, Ezeko's seen better days. But he has had the fish working, which is less efficient now. But it's still been working. Heart's on the way to Castle Age. I feel like Heart's probably just going to play monks again. Because there's not any sign that going monks is bad here. Monks can convert ships. Monks can convert Hussite wagons. Monks can convert monks. Monks struggle if someone has gone scouts, and no one has actually gone scouts. Yeah, I agree that Jordan did a really good job despite the pressures. His Vil count's going to be pretty healthy. It'll be pretty much on par with Heart's. Hera in Castle Age faster than Doubt is the problem, right? Like, he can explode economically. I think Hera might even go 4 TC boom. He drops the second TC right now. He'll mix in the water upgrade, so he'll move down this way to snipe Doubt's fish. And over on the other side, Leary will be faster to Castle Age when compared to Andy. But this game is within reach to turn it around for Onimaru Vanguard. Right now, Leary is out hulking. So Andy getting hulked. He'll respond with his own hulks. And it's just full hulks here from Leary. And full hulks from Hera. You got 2 players going hulk. Hulk Tua over here? Because there's 2. I don't know. Probably a lame joke. Leary's like mostly walled. But if there's ever any land army that comes over this way, it's exposed. So I would say maybe you TC in this position just to protect the area, or you just complete the wall. And Jordan's Hussite wagons have yet to play a role, but he is moving forward. Those are actually goats. Never mind. There they are. They're over at Heart's base. Heart will have no support units on land from Hera except for a couple light cav. Looks like the light cav from Hera have been down here nerding out in Doubt's base. Now Heart's got to go for the monasteries. Luckily, the Burmese are really good at that. Damn, is Hart going to become an amazing arena player in tournaments now? Because they're just giving him monks all the time, man. Aztecs, Burmese. I feel like he's just always turning into the monk player. Titans League Season 6, he's just going to be drafting arena because he's used to it. And then Leary's just going to be drafting islands because he's just been going water. See, Doubt's castle here. He's going to go Tiger Cav. Tiger Cav specializes against like archer units, and there's not a single archer on the other side. Now, to be honest, it's a good enough unit in all circumstances. Nice help there from Hart with the archers, but Leary's gonna mix in a turtle ship. Andy has not been able to win the water, not yet, anyways. But Japanese have some options. 2 TCs there from Andy, 2 TCs from Leary. Economy is still pretty close between those two. Economy is still pretty close overall. Hera will be growing economically because he's going to be on 4 TCs compared to Doubt's 3 town centers. But again, like, Doubt's got the Tiger Cap, so the Tiger Cap could maybe make the difference here. Doubt spending food and gold on that. Hera just saving all of his food and gold to maybe get to the Imperial Age. Does have some monks out. I think he's trying to snag relics. But also, instead of relics, could also be just, like, to convert the Tiger Calf, right? Hart's going to drop a castle there. This is a player who's just not worried about any of the pressure Jordan's sending in. Like, the fact that you could freely move around the map with monks like this just tells you how unconcerned they really are. Imagine if there was any scout presence on the map. Westside wagons are actually back here. Hart building this, I think, because the water becomes a big thing later. And it protects the front of your base while simultaneously protecting the river. Turtle ships are out. And he's still trying to produce here. Again, Onimaru Vanguard, what, 3 points so far this tournament? This will be the 4th round. You get a point per win. Like, they really need to snag. I mean, you snag 1 win, you're still probably outside of the top 4. But you get a win for some confidence. Like, at least you get some confidence getting a win or 2 against Vitality. And then you go in against the lesser teams. Then you start to get the snowball rolling. That water is just not an option anymore for Andy. He's lost it. And the demolition ship upgrade's happening in this dock, but the other one was going for the demos themselves. But maybe demos could change it. Hussite wagons will roll in this way. Tiger Cav will roll in this way. I would say I'm very confused why Leary just didn't full wall. He's had the whole time. He full walled here. Why not just continue a wall there? I don't really get that. Because now, like, help might need to come. Monks might need to turn around and go back towards him. It feels like a little wasteful. But I guess he can manage it. It's not the biggest army ever. But Doubt and Jordan are like, okay, free damage. Speaking of some damage, it looks like Hera killed a couple villas with some light cav. Hera, military count of 4, by the way. And now Doubt has made it into his base. And Jordan's also over here. And the relic is in the gate. I wonder if you could pick that up if you're the enemy. The Hera was bringing in relic number 1. Definitely wants a castle and definitely wants Latus here. That's obviously a no-brainer here. And Jordan's defended the docks from Andy. Jordan's mixing in his own monks and has converted some monks. And game just got a little bit crazy, man. You got random Hussite wagons and Tiger Cav around the map. Vitality need military. This is the greed again, maybe. And now you got stuff over here. Remember, Hart's being asked to send monks back here now because Leary wasn't walled, and now he's getting raided. So game just got twice as hard for Hart. He's also getting converted in the middle. Oh, man, that was really close. Jordan almost converted some turtle ships, but wasn't able to get the job done. Hera needs military now. Like, okay, congrats. You had your boom. I think a lot of people would suggest you have the military a little bit faster here. It's kind of what Doubt's approach was. Military and then add eco. But Hera still has the eco set up. And the spam's going to be non-stop once the castle completes. And I think the precedent has been, like, you can go military late and eco first and get away with it, right? Hera really should eject or put the monk inside of the TC. Yep, saves the monk. Lasis will come deal with that. Imp on the way for Hera as well. So now the Latis will be there. Doesn't really have many relics though, which is unfortunate. I wonder if his teammates do. Hart doesn't have any. The Hart's here and converting the wagons from Jordan, which Jordan may end up deleting. Yep. Leary's just got 2 monks in that monastery, so no relics there. A Tiger Cav killing Hera in the middle. So, I don't know how Tiger Cav perform fully against the latest. I imagine they're going to lose. But the unit is so good that even though it's designed to be like anti-archer, it still takes pretty decent fights in situations it's not designed for per se. Still has a lot of HP and a lot of high base attack. Like the melee armor is just not there. And then the latest ignore armor anyways. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is like it's okay. Which justifies Doubt continuing to make it. Unit is still okay and you're committed towards it. But I worry because, like, the monks can convert Tiger Cav. 1. It's already happening. Heart's got a lot of monks. Late is the better unit. Hera's going to be an imp. Like, 2 and 3. And then 4 is, like, Burmese can just make super strong halbs later, too. It's like any type of Cav is going to be pretty questionable. Andy and Jordan are off on their own little journey over here. Interesting. And Hart and Hera chasing back Doubt. Those stone walls seem to be the plan. Is Janbei an option for Doubt? My opinion is like Wei kind of drop off in late game unless you're up against a lot of heavy archer civs. And there's not usually a lot of heavy archers on this map, so I could maybe question the Wei. The thing about Janbei is like there's so much worse than Cav Archer units if the opposing team has it. So I think what makes them strong is their eco in the early game. But yeah, guys, Hera's just gonna feast here, man. Like he's killing more villagers from Doubt than Doubt did to him the entire game, and Doubt's had more military the entire game. And Doubt is just so exposed. Like, took a big risk being out there. And Jordan is starting a push. He will be an imp. But the wall is going to be denied as well. And this game is just snowballing hard against Onimaru Vanguard. The coordination from Vitality has just been super, super strong. And they've been able to just out-macro every single game. Like, there really has never been a significant moment of weakness for Vitality with military, even with lesser numbers, except for like that big mangonel shot the first game. But I say lesser numbers, like the numbers have been even the whole way through because Leary's got this ridiculous navy. I wonder how we can do against these towers when they're upgraded though. I feel like you need cannon galleons. He's just dropping towers now to stop Jordan from getting into his base. Meanwhile, Arambai and Latis are just all over Doubt's base, and they're elite Latis, and Doubt is still a minute away from Imperial Age. It's been rough for Vanguard, man. And I think the tough thing is like not the team you want to be up against when you need the wins. Like the sets prior to this would have been the sets that they would have thought they could get the wins. Not this series, right? So ideally they came in here with like 6 or 7 wins. You lose against Vitality and then it's like, all right, we're still fine. But like now this is kind of like must-win territory. And it's not looking good. Doubt trying to go Navy. Ah, yes. Okay, so that could be... Honestly, I completely forgot about the Luchuans. And this team has almost always had like Jurchins or Wu or some Luchuansiv. So I think the reason for the Wei is because Tiger Cav are pretty decent. And then you also have the good Navy. That's probably it. Just like popped back into my mind. Jordan, I think, lost all of his monks to the towers. And got the other Hussite wagons converted here. So Jordan's army just went down there. He's got stuff to worry about in his base because there's Arambai all around. And just waiting for Hera to add the siege. Hera brings in 4 trebs. Like, Doubt just loses all of his castles and it's over. Hera's going to communicate that there's a lot of navy here from Doubt. I think Leary's just going to wait for some cannon galleons and then Leary's going to steamroll here. Not sure what this villager's doing here. That's an Andy villager just chilling in the north. Here's an Andy villager built a tower. Here's an Andy villager built a tower. Here's an Andy villager building the tower. I mean, if they try and add trade and they don't realize these towers are up, that trade's just going to die to that. But that's Andy's military contribution because he is too military. He is a demo and a fire ship otherwise. And towers are going to go down. So, and a great awareness from Leary too. He will notice this. I don't know if he'll notice this one, but Hera's going to see it because he's getting attacked by it. And Hera's Latis are still down here knocking on the door. And Hera's dropping towers. Doubt's trying to push this and break the line so he could come address Leary. But Leary might come his direction and deal with that himself. Latis are elite. And Latis should wreck the Tiger Cav. I know that it's a recent DLC unit, and the Tiger Cav's OP, but the Latis has been OP for a long time, dude. It's an amazing unit. Not only does it ignore armor just naturally, but, like, you have crazy base attack. And Doubt is dead. I mean, on land, Doubt is nothing. Doubt cannot deal with this. Jordan's got to come deal with this. So it's now Jordan's job to play cleanup duty. Hart is going to be the one taking care of the tower for his team. So I guess this sneaky villager from Andy will not stick around to do much more. So their trade will be active. And then Leary, I want to see him get elite turtle ship. Leary, if you have respect for this community, which I know you love so dearly, you will get elite turtle ship. Please. Can we please just speak it into existence, chat? Can you all just say elite? I want to see it so bad, dude. They're so golden and epic looking. You really should do it if his main role is water. I mean, it's a big stat boost. We have Shipwright for Andy, so after Shipwright, he's going to spam Navy big time, so he might need the numbers. I will say, like, Vitality just doesn't add siege. I really don't get it. Why they're always so late to siege. Like, how do they not have Trebs on Doubt when they were berating like that? Maybe the map is too big. Yeah, there wasn't enough commitment. Not enough elites in chat. Not space elite. Elite. Elite, not elite. Elite. No, not delete. I mean, Lushwans I know are insanely strong. The Latis are no longer getting through because they've just run into walls. The game is stabilized. Hera and Hart don't really know where to go on land. Hoofneets is on the way for Jordan. Vitality have not been able to break this game. They've not been able to break the river, make any progress here. Is there a chance that Vanguard can stabilize it? That's what they did before in the qualifier anyways. Really good at just slowing down the game. Leary's maybe hit a point where he's confused on what to do. And it is a campy map where towers end up being really valuable. Hera's late has come over to help against the Navy. And maybe now Leary will eject with some of his Navy. I don't know. It seems pretty slow. He also doesn't have the speed upgrades, right? Or am I wrong? He doesn't have all the speed upgrades. But he has the first one. Hera's playing a water map like so many of you guys want to play a water map. Let's make land units. Water map, cool. I'm making knights. It's the best way to play a water map. I mean, he made plenty of water in the previous game, so it's just Lithuanians don't really have a lot of options. And the walls have neutralized the cav. And there's Bohemian Halps. I think there's a very good chance here. Hera and Hart just got very confused. Leary got... I think he thought he had won water. I thought he had won water. Suddenly, Andy's back. The trade set up for Vanguard and everything. It's not perfect, but it's fine. And, like, they're going to start to make some progress. There's the other ship's upgrade for Leary. Do not be surprised if we see more random shenanigans. Look, Jordan came through with a transport ship. And he started to wall up the trade. That stuff like that is what this team is specialists at. Here we go. They made it through a gate. There's a lot of halbs there from Jordan stuck behind his houses, excuse me. Maybe towers in your trade line is what you need right now. If you're team Onimaru. Because Hera's going to run for the trade. Heart's going to stay here so Hera can make the move through. And the trade would be exposed. And it's just starting to get set up, right? It's just at that point. Villagers are going to go down too. The Arambai worked perfectly there. Nice play from Hart and Hera. Leary. I guess his team will lose some villagers in the middle. It's a real shame he doesn't have elite turtle ship. We'll see if he can engage against these loose swans. Hera's going to feast. And Doubt's busy. That's not Doubt's wall that just got broken in through. So might be a little late to realizing. Looks like he realizes. But, like, the TC just goes down to these units, right? Hera also trying to break through on this side. He might actually make it through. With villagers, even. But Doubt clears up the Navy from Leary. Leary is no military. But does he need it right now? I think he could probably be fine economically. They're not taking any damage. It might be better for him to just build towers all over the map with Koreans. I'm seeing a lot of blue units from Hera. Getting the raids in, getting the eco in. Now, he can't easily run through the middle with his units. Oh, he's going to try now. You can't easily do this if there's a Navy from Doubt. But if you have any unit that could give it an attempt, it would be the latest. I mean, that's okay, to be honest. Maybe not. It felt okay. I mean, Leary comes in too. Hart's going to be here as well. They're all just going to combine forces. And Andy can't get through this wall from Hart. What a good wall from Hart. Andy's like, I'm going to be there. Meanwhile, Doubt's still getting massacred by Latus. Meanwhile, there's Arambai still running around. And Doubt's Navy's actually going down. Doubt's Navy is actually going down. And if Doubt is to back up here for a second, Hera can just run right through here. This is open now. So the Latus could just run right in this way. Still would like to see, like, bombard cannons or something from Hera. It's a bit awkward with Lithuanians. You don't get siege ramp, but I think it'd be a good move. Hart gonna fortify up now, add even more walls. And Leary, just contributing with a couple fast fires from the middle docks now. And Hera can run through. Doubt throw, question mark? No, I don't think Doubt throw. You can't throw if you never had the lead. Right? Was there a point in the game where Onimaru Vanguard had the lead? I don't think they had the lead. They started to claw it back, but they were relying heavily on the walls, and Vitality have been able to break through in a couple different areas. I just think they've been late with Siege. I was expecting more Siege from Vitality than they had added. But now that they're through and the units can run right across that river there, it's just going to be nonstop hell. And Hera's just going to stack towers up. I mean, Doubt was supposed to go full Navy here. And Jordan's got the halbs. Jordan has to be here to support, but he has to be everywhere. And halbs are slow. Like, he's sending units back, but it's just going to take a really long time. And then there's just going to be towers there that he's going to need siege for. And that also takes a really long time. There was a little bit of something. I was watching on the mini-map. Doubt was disrupting the trade a little over here. It doesn't look like anything significant happened. Not as significant as this, and not as significant as maybe the progress that was made in the middle. Yeah, this is game-ending damage here. Getting your trade disrupted like this is just brutal. You most likely need to relocate it. And as you try and relocate your trade, if you relocate your trade, it's not working. It's not working as efficiently. You're not getting the distance. Latus are in over here as well. Yeah, Hera is 1v1 against Doubt right now. And the only positives for Doubt would still be this Navy here, which Leary could maybe deal with. And Leary has War Galley. He's got fast fires. He's got cannon galleons, and he's taking back the water from Andy. Yeah. It's just Vitality one step ahead here. All right, Hera loses his market. But he has another market here, so the trade will still run. All these other markets will still work. And in theory, Leary can deal with that. Hufnitsa have made it down here. So what I think should happen, you see Hufnitsa here if you're Hera. Obviously, you try and snipe them, which Jordan shouldn't allow to happen. Okay, you start to lose the towers, and then you're like, all right, all the Hufnitsa are down here. Now we go here. We go, like, middle, right? We go in another area. So you bring siege, you take the gate, and then you're into Jordan's base. And then you just keep making them switch sides. I think that's what you should do. Now, they have a gap, so they're going to run through this gap. Here comes a bunch of army from Hart. I actually think Hart should consider champions, by the way. Burmese champions could go really, really hard here. Because it's mainly Halb as the land units that are out. But yeah, Andy playing full water, full tower still, holding on for the team. And population's pretty close. It's Doubt that needs a pop boost. No engagement for half the army there from Hart. So Hera loses all his army, but the Halbs are superior for the Burmese. And now Jordan, he's going to be fine. Andy will build towers. They're going to get their trade route back. So well played. And Doubt's got a big navy still. And the game doesn't end. You know, might have something to do with the fact that Hera has 172 economy. And he only has 27 military. But maybe he'll eventually delete a couple vills. It's still 30 strong military that could beat your boats. Die, boats, die. Like, it doesn't even feel like they need more military pop space because the units are still doing super well. I mean, Hera's floating a lot of res. In this scenario, you should delete lumberjacks. So delete like 15 lumberjacks. But I actually think on this map, you should, if you have excess eco, you should be buying stone constantly. Aha! Look at that timing. Damn. Bought stone the second I said it. Scripted. Like, it's just a really campy map. So if you have a trade lead, you should buy stone. If it becomes a wood game, you use the trade, you buy wood, right? I don't think it's going to become a wood game yet. But it could get there. Speaking of wood, these things are like 300 wood a piece. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, no. That's going to take down a long time to build back up. And he's done a nice job. I don't think Leary's having a lot of fun. Like, Andy... Like, first off, just playing water the full game and stacking towers is not what Leary likes to do. But also, Andy's just had this knack for getting back on the water and contributing. Speaking of, he's, like, sneaking in here with towers and trebs all of a sudden. But I think Hart will see this. Also, Hart still doesn't have a lot of military. And Jordan... Ooh... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Jordan lost a lot of Hufnitsa there, but he still has some Hufnitsa around. Is Jordan also overboomed? I don't think so. It's tough with, like, with Halb Hufnitsa, you can get away with just 50 units. Because if you have, like, 8 Hufnitsa and 40 Halbs, in theory, nothing can engage. Harris fixed his overboom a little bit. He deleted a couple vills. Or lost a couple of vills. I'm not sure which. You also have to go based on if you're floating res, right? And no one's, like, really hugely floating resources. It's just a really big map, and it's been difficult to finish off Onimaru Vanguard, which makes me think that they've still got chances because it looked really bad for them. And they've got the loose swans. And guys, like, Hart's build up on the front, his base, his ram push that he's going to attempt here, which might not end up working. That's all right here. Like, Doubt and Jordan are moving together. They've got a score lead. We've got sneaky towers from Andy getting into the trade. Hart's dropping a castle there because he sees this. What's happening? I mean, Hera's got 3K gold, man. You need to have more than 31 military. It just felt so inevitable the entire game that Vitality is going to win this game. If they lose this game, it's going to haunt them. Doubt was so dead. Like, he was so dead. there was a hole in the wall. Like, Jordan's units were so slow to help because they're just so, they're not mobile. But they have made progress, and Heart's getting raided by Halbs. Towers are still going up. And Heart's going to build his own towers here. It's kind of funny because it's a watchtower, but they just want to put a stop to this. Hera makes it through over on Andy's side, though. And Leary still has the Navy making progress. Leary and Dowd are going to meet in the middle here. See how these Lushwans perform. Military count an issue for Andy because he was playing primarily water. Towers don't show up in the military, so these towers, while they are contributing, they're just not really showing much. Siege Workshop wall's a little ambitious here from Jordan. He's repairing that. I'm sure he's sending Halbs over. And Dowd's Navy's looking pretty damn good right now. And it's a navy of mainly Lushwans. And Dowd is gonna... Ah! Your transport! Oh my god, Hera had 2 random Latis there. Dowd almost lost 15 vills. They almost drowned. Dowd wants to drop a castle over here. That would have been a new version of a Doubt Castle. He's waiting, though. And I don't know if Hera... Okay, Hera must notice the transport. He's dropping a castle way to the north. Vitality may be panicking right now. I mean, I'd be panicking because I'd be like, wait, we're losing? Like, wait, huh? What? How? Like, we've had this game. It's actually good for Hera to lose trade. He's got 5k gold. They need more military. I've never seen over 50 military from Hera this game. And they've had the resources for it. He's getting fortified wall now. Dowd's still making progress across the river. I mean, Onimaru are going to own the river. And Dowd comes in and just drops towers, which disrupts the trade. What is happening? What is happening? I thought this game was so over, man. The trade is going to be less efficient, which actually hurts the population situation because you think you need more trade then, which means you have less pop overall. Like, the same nightmare can continue in terms of pop efficiency. Here goes Hera with the Latis. And the Lushwan's just going to roll away here. But look at the towers from Andy, dude. Andy's got towers everywhere. And the Japanese towers are shredding the Latis, actually. Dowd won't care about these villagers. He won't care about these villas whatsoever. He has Hera in the back of his base. That's exactly where he wants to engage against Hera. He has no pressure on his own eco. Hart runs in with champions on the water, gets completely melted. Is this over? Vitality can't find anything here. Vitality cannot find anything. They have no answer to this. The combination from Onimaru is perfect. Maybe turtle ships could have been an answer. Maybe just more military from Hera. Maybe Heart Civ drops off here. I don't know. But they were never able to finish off this team. And Dowd's just stacking. He's like, have fun. Yeah, keep making land units against boats. Have fun with that. This Lushwan just stay away from the shoreline. Oh, man. And Dowd's got another navy in here. Yeah, Lushwans are absolutely OP. I agree. Remember, they drafted 2 Lushwan civs for the previous map, but the game didn't go late. This is maybe the point of the game where Lushwans are going to give Onimaru Vanguard a much-needed victory. And yeah, I mean, look how quickly everything's going down. What a turnaround. What a turnaround. Okay, 56 army from Hera now. He's got Latis. He's going to send them over this way. I feel like he needs a counterpunch. Like, I think they haven't gone for any counterpunch because they're panicked. And kill this, get into doubt space, like, just reacting is exactly what the other team is going to want. They're actually stealing wood here, so maybe they think it will become a wood game. Progress being made. Pretty soon, all the towers, all the docks, everything will go down for Leary, and that means more trade position is lost as well. Hera gets a crazy clear there. Crazy clear. I mean, yeah, Latis are going to kill Vils. Does that matter to Andy, I wonder? because Andy doesn't need Vils. Here comes Hera. Now Hufnita can't swim. Leitis can't either. So Hera's going to try and clear up all the Hufnita. At the very least. Can he get them? Okay, he gets them. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. That's what Vitality needed. They needed a big fight. And now, all of a sudden, we got big army from Heart. We got big army from Hera. They're sharing resources a little bit. Now they're pushing back the middle. Leary's coming back as well. The Luchuan numbers are going down. Doubt does have like 30 in queue. So Doubt's going to replace them. Oh, man, guys. We got to start counting trees. We got to start counting trees. Where's the wood? Where's the wood? The wood is in part of the walls, actually. Yeah, everyone's been walling to the wood. They're running out of trees. They might even start buying wood. And Hera's got 10k. And Hera's not making boats, I guess. All right, Heart's made it across with some rams. I actually think that Jordan isn't prepared. He hasn't made a single hand cannon in this game. He was not prepared to deal with the champions. And we got elephants now from Heart as well. But, I mean, if Doubt just has ships in the middle, they shouldn't be able to pass anymore. Right? 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 Wrong! Man, it's amazing what happens when there's 60 Leitis on the field instead of 30. It's just a wild thought. I think Hera deleted Vils finally. Like, he deletes Vils, and they just destroy. And he's able to have units on both sides as well. Doubt getting heated shot. Leary also sneaking docks up over here. Heart with a really nice push against Jordan. It's really not fun for Jordan to engage here. Jordan has queued a lot of hand cannons, though. And once the hand cannons are out, Burmese will struggle a little bit again. Yeah, I think it's just a wood game now. Look where they're chopping wood. Doubt will have, like, no wood. Because these Luchuans are so costly on wood. And he lost so many of them. He's giving up on Luchuans now? He's gonna go Galleon? Well, maybe he just went too crazy. Like, maybe you go 8 Luchuans and then the rest of it's Galleon. Maybe that's the ratio. Whereas, like, a full-on army of Luchuans is maybe too much. I don't know. But he had, like, 40 in queue or 30 in queue, and he either lost them or he canceled them. I can't tell which. Jordan only has 1 range production. Well, that's changing. He had to add the ranges. Remember, he wasn't up against Champion in a serious battle for a very long time here, so... Yeah, Hera bought a lot of stone. He's been buying stone. Andy's been buying stone. Again, while the going's good, you gotta invest, right? You have the gold. Stonks, baby. Buy some stone. Invest now. Because, like, the prices are only gonna get worse. That is not real-life financial advice. Though I could advise you to subscribe to your favorite streamer with Twitch Prime, but, like, yeah, it's the right idea. Because towers all over the map are really good in these late game scenarios. In Hera's case, he's probably just building castles for more Leitis, but... Leary even losing the docks is really bad, but he's got 20k wood. Did Hera send him all his wood? Because didn't Hera have 10k? I feel like Hera probably shared some. Thank you, Suspicious Hedgehog, for the Prime. Thank you, Tachi, for the 17 months. What's the return of investment on spending money on streamers, T90? I don't want to share it because it's like it's a secret, you know. If the whole world knows about the ROI, then if you know, you know. Thank you, Balls McCoy. I mean, I'll try a little bit harder for you guys today. How's that? I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I'm still like kind of blown away that this became a game, right? And now Vitality has turned it right back around. Big raids. And, oh, the champions against the Halbs! And if you clear out the Halbs, then the elephants kill everything else as well. And that's the first time I've seen a trebuchet this game, it feels like, from Vitality. Trebs to take down the fortifications now. I like it. Leary's won the water over here. More towers are going up from Andy. Wood count is down to 56k. Damn, thanks for the support, guys. That's got a lot of galleons here. And maybe from a pure cost standpoint, galleon is just better than full Lushwan. Hera's latest number isn't at 60 anymore, but he is through here, and he is dropping a random tower. I mean, even towers around the wood lines make sense. This is where they've been chopping wood pretty clearly, right? Vitality's chopping wood all along here, but there's no real raiding units for Onimaru, and that returns me to my issue with their whole strat in the first place. They got 2 players going Navy. They don't really have land units. The land things I got excited about for Onimaru were building stuff, right? Like building towers and castles. Can you win the game that way? I don't know. You can win the game. Like the water tower approach leads to really good trades against expensive units. And then it reaches a point where maybe they can't make units anymore if you run out of resources on the map. Look at the wood prices. Crazy wood prices. 500 wood was 1,700 gold. We've entered community game territory right now. But yes, the trade is less efficient now for Onimaru because they lost their corner. Trade is going to be more efficient. Hera thinks about this and will build a new market. Jordan has 10k gold. His team doesn't really need gold, though. And 10k gold sounds like a lot. But when you're buying... Oh, my God! Look at him. He just bought wood and sent it to his teammates. He just spent all of that on wood. 10k gold gone. 10k wood is the new 10k gold, guys. No longer get excited about gold. Gold's value is dipped. It's all about having wood. I think Vitality very close. Very close. We actually see Elite War Wagon. Man, I wanted to see Elite Turtle Ship so bad. It's similar. They get gold and glowy and badass like these guys do. That's what the Turtle Ship does. But I guess you need land army if you're Leary because you already have the water. And to come back on water, you need docks. And getting docks is not so easy if you're Andy because all the shoreline is covered by Leary. So Leary's coming. Leary's going to be over here. And Hart and Hera actually back up. I think they want to try and bait these ships out of the choke point, away from the castle. The castle stayed up for doubt, by the way. Like, the Trebs ended up just getting sniped by the Hufnita, which is maybe why they didn't make them in the first place. And here comes Andy. His contribution will be towers, I guess. I'm guessing Leary's trying to do the same here, but that tower will just go down immediately. Big fight incoming. Big fight incoming. Holy. 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 It's like everyone's beating in the middle for the first time all game. One fight. May the best man win. May the best army win. Let's see. Damn. This is going to be nuts. This is going to be nuts. Everything's converging in the middle. No side shenanigans except for maybe the latest over here from Hera. Might not want to engage if there's halbs here, but the halbs, they're being targeted a little bit. Doubt's got halbs. Doubt attack grounding with the loose swans there as well. Now the elephants are over here. Now the halbs are needed from Doubt in that area too. The latest will push back the Hufnita. Big engagement. Populations are super even right now, but it's all about replacing the loose swans for Doubt, right? Like, can Doubt actually make more loose swans? The latest are in there. They've smushed their way in there. The elephants too. And the loose swans are falling. Yeah, I actually think having 2 players go water will, in the end, mean they run out of wood. And a bonus that I didn't mention that feels very relevant now is Korean warships this whole game cost 20% less wood. So their only water player has saved a bunch of wood. And then we've had 2 people on this team spamming towers and spamming boats. And like from Hera, from his perspective, his wood just reseeds farms, and that should last a really long time. He actually does need to add more farms eventually, but Yeah, 100 wood is 500 gold right now, and it just continues to climb. Crazy. Yeah, I was thinking that Samurai could be an option for Andy. I actually don't hate Cav Archer from Japanese, too. Like, Cav Archer from Japanese is a really good option. I hate the fact that it costs wood, but I think Heavy Cav Archer with Japanese should be great against Champion, great against Halbs, and they're also good against some of the ships, right? Like, Hawks die to Cav Archers. Hair is through. Hair is through. He's going to get into that trade. There are a few towers in there. He left a couple Latis behind to deny Doubt's redock. Jordan has to chase again. This is where I thought they would lose the game like an hour ago. Is Hera gets through, and then they just have no momentum. And if Hera just sits in that trade, goodbye trade. Now, what it will mean, in some cases, like in Jordan's case, he's going to get 30 hand cannons really fast. But the other players don't really have a lot of units queued. So there's no weird upside to losing your trade because of pop space. Yeah, it's a huge raid. Huge raid. And trade equals gold, which equals wood. Right? Which equals win. Wood equals win. Or stone, I guess. But yeah, they're just buying stuff all the time. So you need to have the gold income. And Doubt's docks are going to go down. Doubt, the only thing that he believes in is coming back on water. And it's looking unlikely. Oh my god, that attack round from Leary was sick. Did you see that? That was an attack round on the stacked fires there. Because he was losing that fight. Another group of Latis. Jordan's got most of his halbs in the back. Another group of Latis come in. Hera stacks up against Hufnitsa, which is a horrible use of stacking. And his units disappear. Yeah, if your opponent has Hufnitsa, you do not want to stack all your units on 2 tiles because Hufnitsa specialize at destroying those 2 tiles. Whoops. All right. Gives them another chance, maybe. Still looking to see if there's anything on the sides beyond just the occasional towers. Like, they built the towers up so they can get their markets back. Onimaru holding the line. They have no wood, though. They have no wood. They're just going to run out of res. Doubt is 36 vills, guys. He's lost so many to the raids today. And now the Latis get a little closer to the Hufnitsa for some revenge. I don't think Hera will get the full clear here, though. It's actually a really poor fight from Hera again. Kind of waiting for some more army from Hart right now. But I don't necessarily think they need to win convincing fights. They just need to not throw away a lot of army to the point where they run out of res, right? 20k wood remaining. That's it on the map. I think a lot of that wood is actually on Vitality's side. I don't really want to be counting trees, but I'm assuming that's the case. Maybe it's even. I can't tell. There's probably some random stumps. There's some wood back here. I mean, Onimaru are desperate. They're starting to really share res around, asking for certain resources. Heavy Cav Archer's in for Andy now. So he'll help out chase down these Latis. Hera just wants to charge at this time and time again. I will say, trade count's actually pretty even. Like, they have the same amount of trade, both teams. Not the same amount of eco, but the same amount of trade. Still feels like military's the problem. But a lot of Heart's military isn't able to get it be incorporated. I guess Doubt is like... I mean, Doubt is out of... He's run out of shoreline to contribute now. Yeah, Leary is 24k wood, exactly. Leary is more wood than the rest of the players combined. Hera has more wood than the other team combined. Heart's got, like, almost as much wood as the other team combined. Like, wood is just a massive, massive disparity right now. And I think, you know, you play a long game, like in the 3-hour game last night, where I didn't want to accept that I was dead, and so I stayed up way too late, and I keep bringing it up because clearly I'm traumatized. In the long games, you want to play on and be sure it's absolutely over. You've invested so much energy and time and you just don't want to quit until longer than you would typically. It's hard to emotionally come to grips with the fact he just played a game this long and lost. Especially here, it looks like they almost brought it back. They probably felt like they had opportunities. There might have been a lot of, like, real excitement in the voice chat. Like, boys, we're doing it. We're doing it. I'm sure Jordan was going, let's go. I'm joking. I don't think Jordan would do that, but you just don't know. A lot of emotions up and down. Like the populations. But Harris still did some good damage here. He lost a lot of units, but he still did some good damage. And still Vitality, 150 population. Can they go for the finishing blow? I think now they can reach a point where they can go for Trebs. Because Jordan can't switch sides easily. Like, he's coming back to the middle. He's being called to both sides. Like, Jordan's got this death ball that no one can kill, but he can't be everywhere at once. So, yeah, it's really frustrating. Well, I had a tournament to play today. I'm also playing in a 3v3 tournament with same settings in a lower division. And I don't know if I'm going to be there on time. I hope my team is doing well. Hopefully we're winning right now. Obviously, Onimaru, they got to play it out and ensure that they don't have to worry about anyone else's schedule. They're worried about their own point tally here, but I think this is pretty over, and it is over. They call the GG. And, yeah, Vitality figure it out. I think the whole game Vitality had the lead. It's probably surprising for those that watch in the video later that, like, this ended up going on as long as it did, right? Because it was a really nice turnaround. In the end, I think Water was actually a really good play from Onimaru. Like, I think the Lu Schwans were key. It almost just felt like they lacked a little bit more on land. Like, having only Jordan on land when Jordan's such a slow civ, that felt like the problem. Maybe if you have Jordan on land and Jordan's with fast units and he can swing to both sides easily, it's different. But, like, I will give Leary a lot of credit because Leary made a bunch of boats this game, and he was up against Lu Schwans, and he was up against, like, Andy and Towers, and, like, he had to dock a million different spots. Like, that's not easy to do. In the end, the land ratios worked out. And maybe just making units that don't cost wood worked out. But yeah, Vitality had to lead the whole game. I think they also just didn't make enough military. Like, Hera didn't have enough military until it got really, really bad and really, really scary. Almost lost the game because of that. He still ends up having a positive KD because those latest were insane. Trade profit was still extremely healthy for him and the team. And Leary collected more wood than anyone. The left one is wood. So he was all over those trees. And then he also saved wood, which explains the final resource count he had. All right, so game 4, Vitality got up 3-0 right now. Let's see if Onimaru Vanguard could build up some positivity here, right? If they can win here, they get a point. That's something to work with. Maybe a bit of confidence because they go beast mode as they move into the next round next week. We got Leary as the Britons. Terrifying if you're the enemy. We got Hard as the Malay. And wait, what is this? Vitality have put Hard as their punching bag? I am absolutely shocked. Hart is going to go to the middle. And usually it's Vilwar. So let's see how he does. Now, Doubt loves this as well. And Doubt's built a settlement in the middle with Incas. And is going to be getting Loom here in a second. He didn't actually get Loom yet? I don't know why he's out here without Loom. Okay, Loom is in queue. Not a good start for Doubt because now a couple of your villagers are weak. Doubt is notorious for being good at Vil fights. Now, I'm probably going to jinx him, but, like, I remember it was pointed out to me a couple years ago. I never really thought that Doubt would be in love with this or a specialist at this, but Tato's the one who told me. He's like, Doubt is one of the best players in Vil Wars, so we'll keep an eye on it. Do want to point out that Hera is playing Berbers behind this, so maybe some Camel Archers or some Cav spam from him. But yeah, you fight with the Vils, and then you pull back the weak Vils. I also think Hart is really good at Vil Wars. And Doubt's villager gets found by Leary's scouts, and he will lose one Vil. So that's one loss for Doubt so far. Also, you need the food to continually produce fills. And when you're fighting with more than half your economy, that aspect's not easy. So far, so good for Hearts. It'll be Ethiopians for Jordan. I'm expecting archers from him. And Andy's playing Hindustanis. And Doubt's going to build a gate. And then deletes it because I don't know what that was intended to do. Classic Doubt. Doubt's like, I'm quick walling. I'm trapping. Almost blocks the Vills. Man, Heart's doing a really nice job. I told my team, I said, I'm not playing this role. I said, if we play this map, I'm not doing it. I'm playing this tournament to have fun, bro. There's no prize pool in our division. I do not want to be out here. The Heart's doing an amazing job. There's big money on the line and big prestige for these guys. But oh my god. Who's playing this role for the team? Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying it's not me. And it might even be me. And it might just be mind games. Because we're a bunch of tryhards. I'm not going to reveal all my secrets. But, I mean, this is just hard Age of Empires to play. And Doubt is 4 villagers behind. So, the other thing I'll say is Heart's done a really good job in these situations to then get to Castle Age and contribute. So, like, we'll see if maybe he goes feudal or something, but he actually plays a role in early Castle Age, usually with monks and siege. And Doubt, last time he tried this, he went for eventual castle drop. But it was the same. Jordan went archers to back him up. That's going to be the plan. All the scouts are here, and players are about to be in feudal age as well. And right now, the settlement is just being attacked. And now Heart goes back to taking the fish. How much food is actually left? There's only 200 food left in the middle, so they're not fighting over much food. I think that's what Heart's trying to do, is just get as much food in his hands before they back away. Doubt is way more committed to this, it feels like. And yeah, I mean, he's running at this wanting damage because he knows he hasn't killed too much. And the villager's still running away. Doubt does trap 2 here. Doubt does trap 2. And the other weak villager goes in there too. Boxing gloves are off. Doubt will lose a Vill. 21 Vills versus 19. Scout gets away. And there will be archers soon, so you probably need to leave. And Doubt will feel a little bit better about this now. That's really nice recovery. I don't know, like, I think there's an argument that Heart should have turned around and just run home. He already had the lead. Why waste your Vills? But he snipes a Vill. He's melee. There were other bonuses to get excited about here, so. Double archer range from Leary. Double archer range from Jordan. Hera, I'm assuming, is doing no military and just stacking fishing ships. Yep. And then Andy is on stone, but it also has some fish, but he's not fishing to the same level as Hera right now. Yo, what's up, puppy girl Gwen? Thank you for the prime. Lots of new primes today. That's sick. Thank you, guys. I mean, I would always prefer Leary in the archer role. I don't know why Doubt is repairing the settlement. I think that's a misclick because he wanted to drop off the food. Ethiopians, Britons, I think I prefer the Britons as well, just because of the extra range in Castle Age. But for now, the archers are superior for Ethiopians. That firing speed, maybe making the difference there. Jordan, good start. All Hera does on this map is he crams fishing, and I think everyone needs to do this, by the way. You just cram fishing ships into this pond, get like 20 on food. I think the important thing is you actually play a food unit then, because otherwise it doesn't make a ton of sense. So play like a Knight Civ, and he's got cheaper Knights. So this is really dangerous. Like, Hera having a big eco lead and cheap Knights means that in Castle Age, he's going to be everywhere. And like, Doubt's got villagers out here. He's taking the boar here. Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't know what happened to make the boar be out here. Yikes. But Leary sees that, and Doubt down to 21 Vills now. Like, why did the boar die out here? I guess maybe he was busy. He tried to bring it in underneath his TC. mean, the cope here is, like, doubt doesn't really matter, right? Like, doubt is not important here. Just like heart's not important right now. Okay, so, like, doubt just had to play a role. We've seen games win or won if one player loses more villagers at the start. Feels like this is just pure we're behind and we don't trust our team energy. Here comes Andy. He wants the castle drop, bro. And Doubt's actually here as well. I mean, Hera's going to be with an amazing economy, but maybe if they can get rid of Leary, maybe then they could 2v1 Hera. Do they see this? No, Andy reaches castle age. So Leary doesn't even know about this. And castle on his face. Okay. Now we're talking. Okay. I mean, this affects Leary's archer ranges. Long term, this affects Leary's woodline. This affects his TC. This affects his farm. And actually the fish as well. Like, if they can break through and get to Hera's fish, that's the only advantage they have. The fish is right here. I think Leary needs to be stonewalling here. It sounds very weird because it's not a standard map and it's not a standard play, but you need to stonewall like this. No unit should ever be able to pass through to Hera's fish because Hera is your carry now. Hera's going to be in castle age and Hera's going to spam knights galore. He needs the food. Nice play from Jordan and Andy. Now, I mean, I don't think Andy really has the best of economies to make a lot of Ghoulems, but maybe one or two could harass. And Leary trying to wall up. Still does need this town center to get to castle age, by the way. And Leary doesn't have the food eco to get to castle age. I think this could work. At least it's like lower economy with a lot of aggression and not just lower economy where they're not doing damage, right? Like, this is lower economy and Leary might not make it to castle age in this TC. Look at the ratio. 6 on food and he only has 200 food. Building a market but only has 300 golds. There's been a little bit of critique towards Hera that he's been late to supporting his team with military. This is the time where he cannot just boom. Like, I think there's an argument for a third stable here. Maybe even an argument for Rams, to be honest, to try and get rid of this castle. But at the very least, I think just like pure knight spam. He's getting the upgrades. He's still got the fishing ships bringing in the food, which Andy does not have. Jordan's castle age time will be very good. Leary hoping to click up as well. Still just like casually repairing this TC, which is very expensive. And he's like, man, what I wouldn't give for just like 100 extra food right now. Now he's waiting for the golds. Leary should be able to click up. Now, Hearts and Castle, remember the difference there is like Heart can actually contribute. Whereas Doubt cannot. So, Doubt's just going to hope. He's building outposts around the map, and he's just hoping to contribute in that way. So if anyone expands, his teammates can see it. This is also a nice find here. Andy was disrupting Hera's little fish boom on the outside that I missed. But Hera will drop the second TC, and Hera, as long as he can still continuously produce knights, that's acceptable in my view. And he can, because he's Berbers, and he's got the fish. Why is Andy not producing Ghoulam anymore? They drop off horribly. Like, Ghoulems will do nothing against knights, and his eco is not set up for this. He doesn't have a lot of food eco. All these farms and some of these fish traps are new. So the consequence of the forward castle is you can't really commit to them with big numbers. He does actually have a lot over here. And actually, hold up. Jordan's archers are in his castle. And I'm watching the HP on the TC here. I mean, the TC's slowly going down. Leary's probably realizing this. We'll add the repairs and we'll make it to castle age and then let the TC go down. And the mangonel there from Heart will hit the villagers from Andy. Hera added the scout looking around here. He will drop the third TC. Where are his knights at? You can't engage against the castle, sadly. You can go other areas. Yeah, see, if Doubt didn't wall, those knights just run right in. There's still feudal age palisades, though. Doubt might want to stonewall that. Or house wall that or something. Andy's losing these vills. I don't know if he's noticing that. Mangonel's killed 3 villagers. Leary makes it to Castle Age. Leary's archers are on the way. This is where we're looking. And the Ghoulims, actually, that's the best fight they're going to get. That's actually a really good fight. If you consider, just like, there's always going to be more knight support from Hera, and Leary had a lot more crossbows than that. But I still don't know if he really killed that many. He weakened some. Hera's knights will encounter the monks from Andy. They're probably wondering where Jordan's army is. Jordan didn't even get bodkin or crossbow, though, which feels like, you know, he needs to do. And Hart will drop a second TC. Hart's had such an underrated series. I think he's been so underrated all tournament for this team. It's crazy. Because there will be a point where that third player is going to be needed, and he's always going to be ready to step up. And he's adding the monks in the siege. Imp for Jordan. Imp? Wow, so he skips bodkin arrow, and he skips crossbowman to go imp. Well, I'm curious on if he'll be able to afford anything. Because he gets plus 100 food and plus 100 gold. That'll give him probably just bracer. He doesn't have a fish boom. He doesn't have like this credible economy. This is just super high risk, high reward. Because, you know, we've all seen the games. Nice quick walling from Doubt. Knights almost got in from Hera. That was risky. But they're coming. They're on the way. Doubt doesn't have siege to stop the siege from behind the walls. There's crossbows and knights around. Hera loses a knight, and Hera snipes the monk there. He doesn't want Andy to get these relics. But Doubt is the front line for the team right now. Jordan, does he have archery ranges safe? He's got one in the back, so he can upgrade out of that one. It feels like it's pretty much this army here. And that's it. And the eco is flying for Hera. The eco is going pretty good for Hart. Eco is not very good for Leary. But Leary will try to expand. And they're just pushing. There's so much army. Yeah, during the qualifier... And, of course, it's like Vanguard's up against lesser opponents there. But in the qualifier, I felt like Vanguard's decision-making... Like, every player fit a role, and it all linked and flowed well together. And at least in the sets that I've been able to see so far, it hasn't looked super good. I just think that better teams are able to punish their weaknesses, and it's not a team that has as much experience together, right? Remember, Doubt and Jordan always teamed with Viper and Tato. They don't have team game experience with Andy. So it does make sense that things are not necessarily gonna link up in the same way. And Vitality, at least, like these guys have played together for a very, very long time. Under different team names, but still, they've been together. There was a couple-year blip because Hera was on another team, but it's kind of nice if you're Leary here because you actually match the range of Jordan. So you're in Castle Age, but at least you have the range there. But Jordan's pushing with Imp. And, like, good players just don't lose crossbows here against Mangonels. And against Knights. Unless the upgrades come in. And there's Hera on the way to Imperial Age, so... I mean, you just gotta hold this. You're telling your team, we have the eco lead. Jordan's gotta have a crap economy. Jordan's being patient. But, yeah, I mean, you just need to Hera and Imp, and then Hera could spam, and you actually have Ghoulims, and, oh, God, what's happening here? Hera's looking in the middle right now because Andy is taking down the town center from Leary. He's got monks, he's got siege here as well. Hera will have the knights, so maybe he could deal with that. But Jordan's coming, and this is maybe a moment. It would just be classic if I spent the last 5 minutes insinuating Vanguard was going to get 4-0'd, and then they would just end up winning this now. They knew they needed a timing pressure somewhere, right? But I didn't know that this would be continuous from Andy, because I thought he was going to boom. Nice repairs, too. Look at the castle getting lots of kills. That's really nice damage control from Andy. That was not a great engagement for Hera. An engagement he had to take, though. Andy, my friend, look at your base. Look at your base. Andy, your base, bro. He's microing here. Hart comes in with the monks to defend. Andy is super hard focused here. Andy, your base. Andy, your economy. Andy, your farmers, your lumberjacks, your miners. Oh, God. Hera, 25 villager kills with those knights. And what makes it worse is... I mean, Leary's in a really bad spot, but what makes it worse is Hera's going to be an imp now. Jordan's over here. Jordan's taking down Hart's TC. This really just comes down... It's like Hera... It's basically Hera against Jordan. And Hera's got 130 eco, and Jordan is 50 eco. So, I know who I'm putting my money on there. I mean, Leary is out of the game. Maybe if Jordan now transitions into holding... Like, if he could just hold Hera off... Dowd comes back into the game. Dowd's got a really big boom. So he's got a lot of ills. If he can contribute eventually an imp, that could be good. They have taken Leary out of the game. But yeah, now Cavalier's in. And the nature of the fast imp with Archer Civs, you can't really afford Arbalest a lot of the time because it's so much food. And now the Cavalier could just chase you down as you try and hit and run, and there's just no chance. There's just no chance. Yeah, these crossbows will die. There's raids in the back. This will be spotted, I assume, and maybe dealt with. And Hart should be on like 5 TCs now. He should be like Doubt. So he ends up... He doesn't really need the monks anymore. He can come into the game later on. But it's really hard to build up that crossbow mass with this economy if you're Jordan. So he doesn't lose the whole group, but he does lose most of it. It gets really awkward now. Also, Hera can just treb this down, right? Like, Hera can make trebs, and then he can get rid of this castle, and then Leary can breathe a little bit. This is Leary's only TC, by the way. So they did a really good job there. Leary will have the best micro ever with the crossbows, because he has no army, or no eco to focus on now. And yeah, Hera will add the trebs. I think a valid attempt, yeah, after that, the way the first 3 games have gone, a valid attempt, you take Leary out of the game. The fast imp made them sweat. The push there from Andy made them sweat. If that came in a little bit faster, maybe, like they hit this area 2 minutes faster, I think it could have worked. But I just don't know, man. Hera's going to have to make a big mistake, I think, to let this game slip for his team. And the big mistake might be happening. Hera... Leary's probably telling him, I assume. Actually, Leary's like, if Hera loses all these vills, then I can take that stone. I mean, Hera's losing a lot of eco. He doesn't realize. And he's still going to have good economy elsewhere. But nice raid there. 17 villager kills from Andy. You just worry because he's going to lose his castle. So he poses no offensive threat now because the castle will be down. And Hera will start to realize that they've expanded to the outside and probably really start to spread his unit production and his patrols out and get more snipes around. And now Hearts has a free game. Leary, not a free game because like life is hell, but Hearts is booming. Hearts gonna contribute with archers. Doubt is trying to play pikemen to defend against Hera's cav. And I think that it'll be Hera and Hart. And he just... The themes, from my perspective, seems to be, if you can add fishing ships, do it. There's no downside. At least with the way that some of the best players can play, right? And Hera went for that big eco. The fishing ship stack. Most teams always have one player going up to 15 to 20. But then what you can't do is you can't have that forward castle. And Jordan's Arbalest defend there. Nice. Not bad. That will drop a castle over here. This is interesting. Hera doesn't know about any of that, though that might change here with Leary's outposting. But it's going to be Hart joining in, and that is my worry for them. Vanguard actually has the population lead, though. I guess, like, the economy for Leary is just so bad. Okay, there it is. I was just thinking, like, maybe he's not getting food. Like, he's been at 22 vills for so long. He needs to ask for food. You have cheap TCs. Like, Leary's got to reboom fast here. He's still making crossbows, though. Doubt's going to go champies. I think Doubt's actually just going to raid. It almost feels like he's just going to raid down here and not take any main engagements. Maybe, I mean, Berbers, they have cheap Cavalier, but it doesn't seem like it's strong enough if you don't have Paladin. Hart will drop his castle. Hart will have Arbalest, but Malay Arbalest are not as good as Ethiopian Arbalest. Hindustani camels are amazing against Berbers. The upgrades aren't there yet for Andy because he's still in Castle Age, but he's got a good Vil count. And Hera's army spam hasn't been what I was expecting it to continuously be. Looks like he's going to add trade now. He's going to attempt to treb down Doubt's castle here. But, I mean, Jordan can deal with this, right? Like, these trebuchets are exposed. Jordan should be able to snipe that. You should run towards it. It's going to unpack, and then you can immediately snipe it. Yeah, nice. Nice from Jordan. Nice from Vanguard. This castle from Doubt is frustrating. Hart starting to push, though. I don't think they're prepared for that. Doubt's with Champies. He does have Elite Champy Warrior. Elite Champy Warrior is amazing against archers, and there's no Hera here. Maybe there is a chance. Hera's got to be back here with Leary, respecting this. Champions will move this way. Hera raiding in the back. There's Champions and there's Camels going to clear it up. They are holding right now. Leary's got to be in the game for Vitality. He needs more time. So it's got to be Hart and it's got to be Hera to get Leary in the game with Britons. The Champions, I love being... This is a weird word to use, but I like being wasteful with these. Meaning, I just, like, spread out. If you lose one, you lose one. Just make it super messy. Just like you would raid with Eagle Warriors, right? Andy actually walled in his vills over here. Might complete that castle. That's not easy for Hart either. But Hera's going to get rid of this castle from Doubt. Eventually. I mean, really light on siege. Only one treb. It's going to take a lot of time. It gives Andy time to maybe make it to the Imperial Age. I think he sees this castle from Hart. We'll try and deny it. And Jordan, 100 eco, 70 arbalest. He will start to add trade. Now a castle from Andy's getting denied. Are these two going to fight, or are they just going to deny each other's castles over here? What are they doing? It's like 3 castles denied from the other in a row. Still no Doubt there. Doubt did try and raid the middle, I guess. You could see the remnants in Heart's eco because he's still idle. But Andy's not imp. Like, Andy needs the Imperial Age now. If he's not imp, he's really not able to win fights. And over here, Champies, not a great unit against Cavalier. Even with Fabric Shields, there's a nice micro from Hera there. Moving the Cavalier side to side, dodging those Arbalest. Still infuriating that we got one treb. I just can't. I just can't. It bothers me so much. And it's not just Hera, but it's been like this theme. The other day, we had a team with like 120 more military than the other team, and they just had no siege. Meanwhile, I watched my Unc play. My Unc's 500 elo. My Unc's making like 10 trebs and decimating bases. Sorry, it's been a long day. And yeah, I have opinions. They got to get the treb ratios right, man. Oh, man. Raids on both teams, but Hera's finding some different areas back here with the Cavalier. Beautiful spots with the raids. Also has Cavalier over here. There's like 4 or 5 different groups there. That's the answer, by the way, on why they don't focus on like the tiny details, like, you know, get the 4 trebs, because they're focusing on raiding everywhere. Leary's gonna be an imp. And Leary will be an imp. Hera's sending all of his excess resources over to Leary, and Leary's going to have an amazing army. And Hart took down the castle over here from Andy. He denied another castle from Andy. Like, Hart's in a great position. And it'll be a much stronger force for Vitality Unless Andy gets Imperial Camel. I think if Andy can get to Imperial Camel, that changes. That would just take time. Doubt's Castle over here is still standing. But they're not really coordinating. Like, Jordan's got 100 Arbalests. He doesn't know where to be with them because they also don't have siege to push. And, yeah, Hart gathers up the siege. Good ratios here and starts to make some progress here. The Champions are just so weak, I think, against Castle Fire, against Karambits, against Cavalier. I think it was all about a timing attack, right? Like, get enough of them at a certain time, and then you're comfortable. Just falls in line with the high risk, high reward, has to work once approach that we've been seeing from Vanguard, knowing they're underdog. Still crazy, their population's so high. But, like, where are Jordan's Arbalests? They're here. 74 arbs. Sheesh! I mean, Hera can't engage that. Yeah, 74 arbs is insane. But imagine, like, 74 arbs, 4 trebs. At any point in time, over here. At any point in time, like, over here. We don't have the siege. Ooh, Trebs got sniped. The Champions push the arbs. This is where Hera needs to bring his cav. Here he comes. And Champions against the Arbalest, performing strong. Heavy camo on the way for Andy. Hart maybe could lose his castle if they mix in some siege here. Andy's resources, the gold's an issue. Really wondering if he'll be able to get Imperial Camel. Speaking of gold, speaking of gold, speaking of gold! Doubt's forward settlements gets absolutely massacred by the Cavalier. I mean, it was only a matter of time. You have this much on gold on the front. Eventually, they're going to come back and find you. I don't know if there might be a lack of gold in the back of the base or something, or maybe Doubt just wanted to greed out and go for it. Harris says, who needs trebs? I'm just going to attack the castle with my cav, and now he's going to run away. And also running through here. Yeah, like, there's no siege, so the army can be stronger, but you can't force a fight because you're just chasing. You need to force a fight. You need your siege. If you're actually taking down buildings, then they have to come fight you and engage. But you aren't taking down buildings yet if you're Jordan. He's massing the bombard cannons now, though. It is a problematic form of siege against the Britons, though, because the Briton range is so high. But Hera gets into the back, going for a raid on both sides. Hart's also in there. Hart doesn't really have that many Arbalists, to be honest. And his eco has seen better days. Like, Hart's eco, his Vil count's there, but it doesn't feel like his resources are balanced. Hera gets into the wood line here. Jordan will lose Vils. Doubt will lose Vils. Andy might lose Vils as well. It's elite Karambit warrior from Hart. Still doesn't have siege again to maybe push Doubt there. Jordan's starting to push against Leary, who's getting Yeoman now. Just snagging that upgrade. This is his only castle. What a game. But with that castle, he'll get 11 range. After that tech, he just got destroyed there by the one bomber cannon volley. Yeah, he has to be patient here and not run into a bomber cannon shot, but he can just snipe the arbs from distance and dodge the cannonballs. So hit the arbs, dodge the cannonballs, and continue that cycle. Really frustrating. Hera's still clearing up all these Vils. Hera's still having units here, too. Any other archer civ, they could have pushed this with the bombard cannons. It probably needed to be trebs. But Jordan doesn't have a castle. Doubt, he's in this little 1v1 engagement against Hart, which is why Hart's going for the Karambits. I don't see that many Karambits yet from Hart, and they're going to engage. There's just way more Champies there. See if Doubt's castle stays up, though. I think Doubt's castle will stay up. Hera dives with the Cavalier, and oh man, the Arbalest and the bomber cannons from Jordan just went back. He didn't really dive. Jordan just retreated because he didn't feel like he could push anymore. And maybe they're going to go back this way. What a game. Andy does have Imp Camel. And he will try and get through the trade here. The trade is set up big time for Vitality. There's maybe starting to run into issues with not having enough military right now. Though, to be fair, Jordan's got 100 Arbalest, and that's not really sustainable. So I think they can just whittle that army down, and having the superior trade will be the way to win this game. Doubt will take more eco losses. Doubt still has not been able to get rid of these castles over here, but Jordan's going to help. And Jordan just went for Torsen engines. Not easy to get to. That's a really expensive tech. Oh, man, I want a big shot on some arbs here. Torsen engine bombard cannon could hit so different. Imp Camel, Ethiopian Arbalest, Torsen engine bombard cannons, elite champion warriors. What a fight here from Onimaru Vanguard, considering how frustrated they must have been coming into this game. I worry about Champy. I don't know if Champy's a good enough unit here. But then again, there are 2 players playing ranged units. So maybe... And then Hera's melee units are significantly worse than Imp Camels. Are they doing this? Are they holding? I mean, Heart's building this castle. Congratulations, Heart. The castle's just going to melt. Vitality had their window. They weren't able to finish off Onimaru Vanguard. They never took down this castle, by the way. Like, this castle's still standing. Doubt's still on that gold. And Heart's castle here is going to go down. This could be bad for Heart fast. Because this castle will fall, which means, like, this castle and this castle are also not long for this world. Wow. What a game. And also, what a sick job from Jordan to maintain this Arbalest mass. It's incredible just how many he has. Hera's got a problem. Hera has no military. Well, not no military, but he has low military count. But unlike the previous game, he doesn't have an OP unit. He just has a Cavalier that just happens to be cheap. So I think you got to be going for big numbers. Or maybe you make a switch to Camel Archer. But, like, Heart's getting completely rolled by some of these champions if he only has Arbs. Arbs is only going to be his option because he's going to lose all of his castles. Elephants, I guess, is an option for him, but he was building the stables on the front. Vitality seem a little bit shocked right now and uncertain on what to do. I would love to, for Vanguard's sake, for the sake of the tournament as well, because we want them in the running to some degree, it would be so nice for them to snag a win here. Gain something, remind everyone, you know, what they're capable of, and then have a point to work with going into the final 4 rounds. It'd still be rough for them to make it into the top 4, but it'd be doable. Without getting champions into the trade, that's another fire Hera's going to have to put out. Still amazing to me that these buildings still exist. Like, amazing job from Doubt to just play stubborn there. Andy could be adding the trade building in the trade as well with this Civ. Not doing that yet because they've been under a lot of pressure with the fights. But I think they've got the key ingredient. It's an amazing concept, guys, but when you have a military lead and you push with siege, you can break bases much faster than if you don't. It's a crazy concept. It's nice to see people adding siege and finding rewards. I feel like that's been a weakness. Arbs are over here from Leary. He just always has to respect those bombard cannons. It's super risky. Castle goes down for Leary. For Heart. Hera's trying his best. Again, you have a... Your Civ was amazing in Castle Age, amazing in early Imp, but now that you're up against Imp Camel, your units just are not good compared to the other units. And I think you're under so much pressure, it's not easy to make a switch either. And I think Champy has also proven me wrong. Part of it in my brain was maybe just because they were losing the game. But, like, what a reboom from Doubt. What big shots there from the bombard cannons. Like, this is an incredible job from all the Onimaru players. T90, how late are you for your team games? Dude, I have no clue. The series could be over. But yeah, I'm supposed to be playing in a set today, but we have four players, so maybe my team won or lost already. I have no clue. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed the streams. These games are amazing. Maybe you get Leary to like 100 Arbalest. Other thing for Hera, you lose your units so fast, you don't feel like you ever overboom because your units just get deleted instantly. Elephants was a good call here from Hart. Doubt's getting some champions into the back. Imagine getting into that wood line there. That's what he's looking for. I think Hart will maybe see that. The level of loyalty you're showing to your team is inspiring. That's not me not being loyal. That's just we planned around someone not being potentially available. Either me, if I'm casting, or others if they're, you know, busy with life. So the loyalty I'm showing is to the stream and to the tournament to cover it and bring the games, you know. Vitality have held the line. They still have some walls here. They still got castles behind. Their trade is still safe. Eventually, yeah, you could onager cut the wood lines too, and then you can expand that trade. I think Andy... I mean, he's also having an issue with the camels against the sheer number of Arbalest. Also, to me, it looks like Leary started to focus fire down the Arbs a little bit. Remember, Jordan had 100 of them, and now he only has 40. And he's panicking with the bombard cannons. He thinks they're going to lose this fight. Andy headed this way now. Doubt's coming in. Ooh, siege rams and halbs. A good play if you have it all together with like multiple rams, right? We talk trickle treb. That's kind of trickle ram. It's hard to get the ratios right. I like the energy though, because it takes their focus away from the other fight. And it might seem bad because they're losing ground here, but they've got fortifications up. They were past the middle area of the map over here already. If they can make a little bit of progress here, like this is way more effective progress if they get into the trade route. I don't know if they're going to break them though. Leary did reach 100 Arbalest. Jordan not really floating many resources. He's down to 43 Arbalest. So officially, Britons are better now, I'd say, except for those bombard cannons. But also, like, clear as day, Hindustanis are better than Berbers. Do you want the score, T90? Yeah, you can tell me what the score is. I don't mind. It's a playoff 4. We play the same settings. I don't know what the draft is or anything, so I'm just kind of joining in and seeing what the boys are feeling like. Down 1-0. Okay, so we're down 1-0. That means I could maybe join in for game 3 or game 4. I don't know how well I'll play today because it's been a really long stream, but that's good to know. Thank you. Should Leary mix in longbows? I don't think so, because you don't have the castle set up. If you get to 4 castles, I think, but even then, 4 castles compared to like 20 archer ranges, the production's not really there. Guys, I just want some freaking siege from Vitality. Make some siege. Somebody, please push a castle. You have the military lead. That had a rhyme to it. I hate seeing a massive blob of army and no way to push castles. It bothers me. It really, 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 really bothers me. But, you know, they're trying to mass it up. Your Heart's going to add the bombard cannons. But what ends up happening is they can't put... Oh, careful, 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 both of you. Oh, God. Arbalest go down. What ends up happening is Hera realizes they can't push the castle, and then he goes to try and raid. And he tries to, like, run through the castles. Oh, man, big shots. Big shots. You have to be careful with these patrols. Champions are running in. Champions are running at the bombard cannons. Hera's army just disappears to these Imperial Age camels. The Champions move in against the bombard cannons. And Vanguard's back. It might just be a unit difference. Hera's going to try Navy now. I don't hate that. Like, the occasional demo cannon galleon, you can use the river. It's a very weird aspect of the map. But I don't hate that. I don't know if you can go full Navy, though. Now, that would be something. You completely stop going Cavalier. You go, like, 30 galleons each side with cannon galleons and take the trade. I don't know how realistic that is. It feels like they, even though Hera's units are dying fast, they still are needed here. Jordan's got his ARB count back up. He's up to 80 ARBs again. And Andy's got more camels on the way already. Bombard cannons are landing some really nice shots here too. 145 kills on these bombard cannons from Jordan. Damn. And he adds 5 more. Guys, that's not easy to do. Like, it's super easy to lose the occasional bombard cannon or look away. That's pretty ridiculous. To also get to the 100 ARBs, this is all in the back of a low economy fast imp where you didn't have any sling whatsoever. Jordan's having an amazing game. Jordan's having the game of the tournament right now. They need to win it for him. At least get a point off of this. What a fight. I mean, you could argue they're getting closer to breaking this Vitality team. This is their last chance. But like, I think Hart and Hera just do... either their military's dying way too fast, which is probably true, or they just don't have the military numbers. And maybe it's just both those things. Their KD's probably going to show us at the end of the game. Doubt's still trying to just harass here with random Rams and Champies, preventing Hera from playing water. Remember, Doubt is actually trading a little bit this way. I don't know. I guess that is technically more gold. But you're making progress. And the 6 Bombard Cannons now have 169 kills. I think the 1 Bombard Cannon's new, so he can't even be credited for any of that. And you just have to break those fortifications. But slowly they're doing so. And he doesn't have any camels here. So no meat shield. He's going to try and run through. There is actually a gap here. Yeah, you could get into the trade. And Vitality doesn't have that much in queue either, so their resources aren't that good. I think for Hera, he's all this trade. Because the trade distance isn't far, you don't get a lot of gold. And then his units just instantly die. So, feels like it could be overboom territory, but it's probably the right play. You have no other choice. And what unit do you send back here to deal with this? You want to send elephants? That's super slow and annoying. You can't send Cavalier to deal with this. Camels are the perfect trading unit right now. Trade raiding unit. I made that a word. We called it a trading unit. Doubt's trading unit down here is the Rams. Hera always has military to respect Doubt spam. And yes, Camel's killing the trade. See 1 Camel Archer from Hera, but I don't think that's going to be a full-on switch. Why no Kameyuk? I think Kameyuk's a really poor choice. Kameyuk lacks Pierce Armor. So Champies have 9 Pierce Armor, so the ARBs do 1 damage. I don't know what the Kameyuk Pierce Armor is, but it's not that. So underneath castles, like you can't run through here because you're not as fast with Kameyuk. You die to castles even faster with Kameyuk. I don't think the Pierce Armor is good enough. Look at Leary try and snipe the Bombard Cannons. So some of Jordan's best men go down. There is a Treb there from Doubt. So finally some Trebuchets mixed in. It's still just 1. 4 Trebs would make me super happy. The amount of times I've seen 1 Treb today, and that 1 Treb gets sniped, is way too high, but the teams have just been super good at sniping them. And they've given up faith. They've given up hope. Hera's made progress over here. But Doubt is making some progress in the trade, and so is Andy. So slowly the trade card count is going to start to dip here for Vitality. How much wood is left? Well, there should be hundreds of thousands, right? There's wood on the sides. So that shouldn't be a big issue. I wonder if Hart knows he has 20 Arbalest inside that castle. I guess the castle's melting stuff right now, so he probably does know. Jordan needs to back up for a second. Feels like they're distracted. Ooh. Hera's got random cannon galleons on the pond over here. Or river. And that could just full wipe the castle, go all the way down to the trade before you know it. He's also killing trade this way because they continued to trade this way, which is just very confusing to me, but they did. So both teams are disrupting the trade big time. Oh, God. Karambits are going back to clear that up. Hera's added cannon galleons there. It's actually kind of sick. I would try a cheeky demo too, but I think the docks will probably be taken down now. What a game, man. This is Age of Empires. But dude, guys, they're not noticing this. And this is Andy's call. Because this is Andy's stuff going down. If they don't notice this, Hera's going to have a lot of boats. The markets are going to go down at the very least. There are quite a few units in queue for Doubt and for Jordan. But Leary does have enough Arbalest to maybe hold the line. Some units in the trade still. Trade going down. Hera had 80 trade before. He's got 57 now. I wasn't able to pay attention to the count of everyone else, but some significant losses to his trade with that raid. Okay, Andy noticed this. So he notices this. I'm going to assume camels go over there now. We'll keep an eye on it. They need to break the wall. They need to get in again into this trade. They're still here. And Hera has to send Cavalier back, which is just awful. Like, to send Cavalier back to deal with the trade raid is so unbelievably painful. There go with the camels. I think we just saw some camels die to a demo. I think camels might be able to deal with that. And the camels are running into the trade again. I think Vanguard are going to get their win. There are Trebs there from Leary. They were stacked, though. He lost like 3 of them there. Maybe he was hoping for some more big shots with Warwolf. Yeah, Hera's attempt. I mean, if they didn't notice, it would have been cheeky, but they noticed it, and it didn't work out, and the trade is still an issue. And Doubt's going to be back again because, of course, he is. He's been so stubborn. Can they break these castles? This is the only castle for Leary. If this castle goes down, Leary can't make a single Treb. Crazy. Hera only has 3 castles himself. Hart used to have like 6, but he lost a bunch too. There's castles all over the minimap here for Onimaru. Jordan, 25 builds. True. But as long as you receive resources when you need it, you just need trade. You don't need food. You need gold, and then you need wood. And he's got his 24 vills on wood. That's crazy. That is against common Age of Empires instinct. Like, we've talked a lot about overbooming in this series. You got to understand what these late games look like. Well played from Jordan. What a crazy fight. All the camels that were in the north, though, are going to come to the main fight again. All those units that were dealing with Hera on water, and more champions running into the trade, and still camels running into the trade, and Doubt's now coming in with Halbs and Rams, and Leary's towers. They might hold, but villagers are dying, and his army's dying, and his castle falls. What could end up happening, guys, is that Onimaru Vanguard, they go on a run the next 3 weeks. They win those sets, and they sneak into that 4th place position by 1 win. And this could be the win that you look back on. Vitality will be overall very happy with this series, but Onimaru were able to turn it around after the first 3 games. I thought with Doubt start especially, I was like, this isn't looking good. Hera had a massive lead this game. I thought Hera was going to crush them, but Jordan, he held on for the team. He had a ridiculous game. Like Jordan the MVP for sure, but then Doubt and Andy had to reboom back into this game. Doubt being down here, harassing, making Hera think twice about where he could go. Andy getting to Imp Camel and having a good Vil count was a really nice game from Onimaru. And you always need your whole team involved. But like Jordan kept the team alive there. That fast Imp, that was against Hera with like 50, 60 more eco, and he held. So I think some of that's the draft, right? Like Hera, I think he needs to play more aggressively. I think you can't trade boom if you have worse late game civs. You had to add Siege, which was an issue the whole series. But, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, Jordan did a lot to hold. He had some amazing trades, was feasting on everyone. And the Bombard Cannons had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kills. I just think, like, obviously now Hera has more eco, but I think you go back to the earlier stages, Hera's going to feel like he could have done more. Other part of that, of course, is Hera normally has Leary backing him up a whole lot faster. And Leary was really delayed this game because of the pressure from Andy and the pressure from Jordan. So, well played. YouTube did just want to let you know that the 3v3 finals are going to be live at a LAN event in Hamburg, Germany in November. This will be combined with a 1v1 event as well called the Garrison, which is the follow-up to the iteration we had a year or two ago. If you want to make it to an amazing show, you can check out the link below the video, buy your tickets, and I might see you there.